Today's A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan podcast is brought to you by
buddocs.org. If you want to get your medical marijuana license, it's super easy. A lot of time they have same-day appointments, and when you leave Dr. Shanlate's office, you can go directly to a dispensary the same day. Yeah. So if you are like, hey, I want to get my medical marijuana license today, go to buddocs.org.
There's really nothing stopping you.
Yeah.
Very quick, very easy, like Tom said. You do have to see him in person for your first,
just for a first consultation appointment.
First visit is in person, but after that, you can do telemedicine like we do. Very, very easy.
Yeah, and this is not on the copy, and this is not what Dr. Shanlate is telling me to say. But you're going to get it. Listen, you make the appointment, you go there. I'm fairly confident that you will leave with a recommendation.
And Dr. Shanlate is awesome.
You get your money back, by the way.
Exactly. But he's awesome because he curates all of these things called bud deals. So depending on which dispensary is out there are multiple deals, some up to 50% off for first-time users. So you're not going to know unless you go to the website. It's buddocs.org. Check it out. Locations, multiple locations.
Yeah.
And he's just a great doctor. You like the guy.
And if you have another doctor, transfer patients are only $99 for your first visit. So it'll save you money.
It will.
And the rest is telemedicine, super easy. buddocs.org.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke-heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Yeah, we're doing it again. It is the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
We got a different Ross on the couch, my friend.
Yes, Ross Paget is here. How you doing, Ross?
Oh, yeah. Hey. There we go.
Of course, you can catch him on Good Sauce with Ross and Joel every Wednesday on Real Radio, and also just subscribe to the podcast anywhere podcasts are found.
Yeah, all that stuff.
And
podcasts are so not popular now that people are stopping their podcasts.
And we'll, that's a thing.
That's a thing now.
You can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop my podcast.
And I know we'll talk about the Friend Show coming up. Yeah, Ross is preparing for that, which you got to get your tickets for. As soon as it's done, it'll sell out.
Great.
But before
saw some
that,
photos of that. The advertisements for that look lovely. They look wonderful.
So I'll set a little scene for you. Wednesday night, we get back from the $5 T-shirt stuffing party we did at Hourglass Brewery in Longwood. Those are for the BDM Appreciation Week coming up next week. And so those, I think, went out. Eric mailed those out yesterday, so people should start getting them.
But there's no way of knowing.
And so
if they show up, great. If they don't, we had a problem with the mission.
Which, by the way, huge thank you to everybody who showed up to help us.
Yeah. And thank you to the people that showed up to drink beer.
I am drowning in a sea of favor debt.
You really are. You really are.
Which soon the only way out will be suicide. I owe so many people favors now. I've lost track. It's real bad. Anyway, so it was a hectic day on Wednesday. So I'm sitting on my couch. I was like, all right, we got that done. Every year we do it. It's always a little bit different.
You seemed a little irritated at our speed. I saw Tony Rage and I were laughing because we would we'd take a koozie and we would load it with stuff and then set them on these tables. And then we had people moving the tables around like Minecraft. And we're like, what? Tony Rage and I.
Well,
by the way, Tony Rage and I sat.
I had
there.
no plan.
Tony Rage and I sat there, and we laughed at every. I wish Moonjet was here to laugh with me. We were laughing.
Get to work, Stan. Get the fucking laughing.
We were laughing.
Running around.
I was limited in what I could do, but I was just laughing because they would stack these koozies on a table, and then he would have people like, all right, these koozies are on this table, move them to that table.
Yeah,
Then they'd all move over.
My goddamn mailman was there.
Wait, was it one of those laughs where you're like laughing because you're laughing when it gets just uncontrollably classroom laugh?
I'll be honest,
I'm stressed out.
The best comedy is truth comedy, right?
All right, yep.
And there was a time when people were walking, okay? Like people were holding like a bag, and then they would walk into the line, and it was long. And like people would go like lemmings down this line, and they would get like all this different stuff. And Tony Rage and I were laughing because we're like, these people are walking like the length of a football field to get this done. And we're like, why are they doing this?
It's the only way. I don't know. Every time we do it, it's a new process. Goddamn.
Now that I support. Every time we load T-shirts, every time we do BDM appreciation,
it's different every time.
We get there, and there's always 3 or 4 new systems to implement, and I like that. I like how confusing it is. It's great.
Anyway.
I like the suffering.
Yeah,
it's fun.
So,
did it go slower than you thought? Be honest.
No, I just get stressed out because people are there donating their time, and I feel like I didn't do a good enough job organizing it. It's all chaos. Anyway,
I love it.
Anyway, get home. I'm like, I'm glad that's our stress. Then I get a text, and the text is from a fellow comedian, and he's been on the show multiple times. Vince Taylor.
All right,
and I love Vince Taylor.
Hell yeah.
Old friend of mine, coworker. I work with him at Champs.
Let's not go that far.
He was my he usually worked in the back stockroom with me at Champs. I've known Vince Taylor for 20 years.
Yeah, but we know through talking to Vince that he was bitter about your white privilege and how you were treated within the organization that is Champs. And you took advantage of said privilege.
White privilege. No one there was white. I was the only white guy.
Exactly, and they let you get away with murder.
That's how it goes over at Champs.
Anyway, so I get a text from Vince Taylor. And by the way, I'm sitting on the couch. I popped the edible. I'm like, now it's time to relax.
Yeah, he's in his little booty shorts.
And then I get
tiny little shorts.
Moose knuckle. Stage 5.
And by the way, this is the worst texting. It's a good prank to pull on your friends, just texting them.
But I don't think this was a prank.
But the easiest prank in the world, text a friend, hey, where you at? Or, hey, are you on your way? Like something to allude to that you forgot about something. It's great.
I call it light the fuse.
I got a text that said, where are you? And that just broke me in half.
Yes, it's easy.
Shatters you.
Ross
Great. So this is similar to that is, hey, I think I'm in the wrong place.
No.
So I look at it.
Wait, you got that from Vince Taylor?
Got that from Vince Taylor. So I look at it and I'm
what
like,
are you guys working on? What are you guys doing?
Nothing. I have no idea. It's out of the blue. So you look at it and I'm like, at first thing I thought it was a wrong number, like he sent this to the wrong person. And then I look at it,
so
and then
you had an edible. You're in tiny shorts. Did you fire back a text like, "Hey," or misfire, my dude?
I look at it, and then
right. That's what I would say.
But I scroll up just to see, like, maybe there's some clues into the upper part of the past text.
You know what that's called? That's called I know.
Dude, past text can tell you a lot.
Yes, it tells you everything.
You're looking at like, oh, man, go past me.
Some would say,
go past me.
Some would say that's learn from our past.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I scroll up and I see a prior conversation we had weeks ago where, when Vince, the last time he was on the show, I told him about our BDM appreciation event.
And you invited him to that.
And then I invite him, come by, because the more celebrities there, the more people come, everybody has a good time.
Sure.
Anyway.
So you're using him.
No. I'm inviting him to the party as a friend.
That's the past text. I want to use you.
And then I see that after we got off the show, he's like, hey, I'll come by the party. Where's it at? And then I tell him this is for BDMs only. I won't say where it is, but I did say the date, and I thought that I had put April 19th, which is the date. It's next Saturday. And I noticed that I forgot the one, and I said April 9th, which was Wednesday. Vince Taylor's on the line. How you doing, Vince? So
no, I'm still a little hot, honestly.
I mean, I would be. I would be hot. I certainly wouldn't show up to the event my best buddy from Champs wanted to use me for.
Yeah.
So
Gas ain't cheap either.
Yeah, I know. He owes you some money.
you know how bad I felt.
And I will offer up my side of the business credit card because you don't deserve that, my friend. I feel really bad.
Hold on.
Is this
Agreed.
real? Is this
Agreed.
true? This isn't something you guys didn't do a little shimmy dog, a little champs bit?
So-
This ain't this. Nah, let him finish.
So, Vince, describe what you pulled. Like, I imagine because that place usually only people are there during the day. I dropped off my boat at night. No one. What?
Frankly, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I went out of my way because I know, we ain't really did a lot of live together. So I was like, you know what? Let me do what I can to make it out since you so kindly invited me. So. There's some stuff going on in my family, my mom.
No, come on. Quit laying it
Mom. Oh my God, I'm so sorry about your mom.
Yeah, I was talking to Vince about that. Is she doing all right? Is she?
Yeah.
No,
Did we
quit playing the
she's
radio
recovering.
shit?
Did we reach the goal on the GoFundMe? Is what I want to know.
Come on.
Nah, we not there yet because I had to take my time away from devoting it to making sure she
I
was
know.
all right.
You needed to promote. I'll go in there and slide you $500 because you do deserve it. I'm putting it on there with the business card because you don't deserve that.
You know, the worst part is that
I wish this was fake, but this isn't fake, and it's so not fake, and I know it's not fake, and this is the kind of shit that Tom does all the time to our friends.
No,
and this is why I think we lose.
man.
Like, you treat Vince just like one of your pain pill handymen.
No.
He has these pain pill handymen come to his house and do everything around there.
No.
Now, honestly, I don't know if I can say face because the place that I went, after I left my sick, dying mother.
Exactly.
Yep.
When I got there, I was all Tom and Danned up. I was all, BDM'd up.
You
and I
look
was
real
geeked up.
white.
I got stripped up, bro. I took a whole shower with no lotion.
The manager's like, "Oh shit, Tank Tail's back."
And literally, I went and it was just me. I was like, "Yo, these dudes are like they really ain't promotion. They ain't putting out the word, or like they fans just
When
don't
it was
care
just
about
you
they
standing there?
Yeah, it was
And a
just
bunch of
me.
fat
I went
whiteos?
it was like three dudes that looked like they had fished that day, like on their own boats or whatever, like five, like anchor tattoos and stuff.
The fishing
eye
shirt.
tattoos, that kind of thing. Yeah, and
The
I just
fishing
was like,
shirt.
I don't.
With the gill. You know what I'm talking about? The gill
So
fishing
how long
shirt.
did you stay? So you're in the parking lot texting Tom at the moment, and
Well,
then,
I told him I was like, "Oh shit, dude, I'm looked up."
shit, dude. He says, "Dude," when he's really up against the wall.
No, I'm like,
Dude,
I text you the
that
wrong
means
date.
it's hurting.
Shit, dude. I did. Okay.
Nah, it was so bad. Nah, man, he's sitting there trying to, I'm gonna make it up to you.
You gotta suck his dick. You have to suck his dick.
I don't know if that's possible.
You have to suck the big nine. The big
I
nine.
don't think it's possible.
I'm sitting here leaving my people to go and check out this event. He's home with his moose knuckle out and just enjoying life.
Yeah.
Now,
I've
hold
seen
on.
his shorts, man. They're 5 inches all day long. Tiny shorts.
As a classic victim blamer, I will say that my first thought was, didn't you think that a Wednesday night would be a weird night for us to hold our event?
Definitely did.
You must be rubbing off on me because I thought that too.
Well, everybody blames a victim. It's their fault. Huh?
Because y'all are so normal, right? Y'all do everything by the book. Yeah, now, of course, I thought it was weird, but I was like, what am I to do to question their weird promotional tactics? This might be some Wet Willy Wednesday thing. I don't know what they got going on.
You know what? He's not wrong. Write down Wet Willy
You're
Wednesday.
right.
We're stealing that.
You are confused. White people do weird shit.
Oh, white
Wet Willy.
If I had to guess, if I put out a poster and just said Wet Willy Wednesday, you get the whites. They would show up. What the hell's this here Wet Willy Wednesday?
White people,
Built
like,
in.
they come up with restaurants where like, let's throw peanuts on the floor.
That's how we party. That's how we rage.
That's a white thing. They're like, let's have everybody do some doo-wop on top of the fucking soda counter.
Vince,
Tommy, did you really react like that when I sent it to you? Was you really like, oh shit, like, or was it really like?
No,
wait,
I told my wife too.
He'll just tell you whatever you want to hear, and he's very calm.
No. I was super fucking.
He was so upset he didn't tell me until a day later.
Dude, he was so pissed off he just said, dude.
I told my wife, she's like, no, you didn't. Why? She's like, and I'm like, it was just a fucking typo. It was legitimately a typo.
But Vince,
I can't see.
everybody in his circle, everybody in his life, everybody, to use his term, in his Venn diagram, has given up. We've all given up. We don't even care anymore. He does these things, and it's like Kanye. It's like Kanye wearing a KKK I've seen it. I've seen it. You're going to have to do better than that, Kanye. I've seen it. Oh, I sexually abuse all my... Okay, I've seen that. Oh, she's naked. I've seen it. Here's her titties. Here's her vagina. I've seen it.
I feel like Tom has worked himself into a verb. Like, I think I've been Tommied.
You've been Tommied?
Like, I think that's what happened. Like, this is a whole thing if this has been going on. So let's keep this a verb whenever he does this. And let's keep a list.
You know what it is?
And let's bring it back up.
You know what it is? It's because he only cares about himself.
That's a lie.
That is clearly evident, bro.
All I have to do is say that. I don't even need to believe it. I don't even need to believe that. I put it out there.
All I care about is...
too.
Huh?
Let me make a real quick statement. When this did happen, and I was just kidding about the mom thing, just so she didn't have all the time, but he did actually offer to pay me, to give me gas money to reimburse me.
Take the money.
And at first I was like, nah, man, you ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? But I would like to retract that statement.
Yeah, take the money because it was an empty offer.
And I also want to,
I thought it was going to take it as an insult.
I'll take it, but I did drive an 18-wheeler over there, you know what I'm saying? And it was, it's not necessarily cheap, and it was definitely not unleaded. So it might be a little bit more than I'm requesting in that Cash App, but $ Vinny St. Louis, and I'll expect that $500 by this afternoon.
Well, I drove to Miami. It was like $38, I guess, one way.
Just give him $100 for his time.
$100? That's a drive to Jacksonville.
It's worth $100.
You embarrassed him. You showed up. Everybody looked at him.
I can't never go back to that place.
You made our only black friend wear white-ass Tom and Dan gear to a white pool party. That's what you did.
I put on lotion and took a shower, shaved, and I brushed my teeth. Went all the way out there, man, and there was nobody there but a couple of fishermen and some crackheads in the parking lot.
Don't talk about it.
It was a little shady.
Vince, don't talk about the crackheads.
I'm just playing.
Don't talk about the crackheads.
Well, there was crackheads. They definitely was crackheads.
I know they're crackheads.
But they're also wearing fishing shirts.
Why do you think the venue has barbed wire around it? It's to keep the crackheads out.
It's meth and Guy Harvey.
I had never had to sneak through a fence to get to a Tom and Dan event. But
Assassin's Creed.
It's not the venue's fault. They just, it's like, you build a mansion in bear land and you get some bears in your property.
I understand what you're saying.
They pat me down and asked me if I had drugs on me. I said no. They said, well, come back when you do.
Yeah.
I thought it was I was like, all right, I don't know if what kind of establishment this is, but I'll be right back.
The New Blurred Order podcast. That's worth gas money right there. That's a good plug right there.
I mean, it's not
a solid plug.
I would argue this isn't his target-rich environment, right? Like,
no, it's about nerd stuff. We got a lot of nerds out there.
Yeah, listen
not
up.
so many blacks.
Listen up, you craft beer fatzos. It's the New Blurred Order. You'll love it. Yeah.
Well, again, Vince, I apologize again. I really felt bad.
Hey,
it doesn't feel bad now.
I'll feel better when I get that $500 deposit. But at least it got me on today to talk about me being able to have everybody from Tom and Dan at the Orlando Funny Bone May the 4th for our Star Wars brunch. We're having a Star Wars brunch on the May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day, at the Orlando Funny Bone. So blurred friends, nerd friends, if you're into Han Solo, if you know Han shot first, if you got a lightsaber, if you dress up, you cosplay, you're welcome to come out. That includes you, Tom. Might be a light time roast if need be.
Well, no, the chat room, you're going to get a lot of guys for this because we got the Star Wars guys on lock. We got those guys 100%.
Yeah.
We'd definitely love to have you all out. Yeah, but it'll definitely be that Sunday. I'm not going to give you a fake date like some of the folks that I used to work with would have done.
Okay, I understand.
Those Champs employees, right?
And then everybody,
those privileged employees.
Listen, everybody who shows up to support you is kind of like me showing up a little bit. Just remember that. You have to give me a little bit. You're like, this is kind of because of Tom. He made it up.
You say a lot of you guys.
I'll keep a head count, and we'll let you know how many of you showed up.
I think that's a good idea. I'll hold you to it because it'll make me laugh and laugh. Because I'm just here to instigate. Hey, we love you, buddy. Be good. Have a good weekend, okay?
You too, guys. Take care, man. Tommy, I'm looking for my deposit. Talk later.
Yeah, we're gonna get you some money, man. Now we can talk because he's because I know now we can. Why do you?
Now we can be honest.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that?
It was a typo. I wrote, and then I can't see very well.
Yeah,
so I
you
just
put your
said
glasses on.
April 19th, and then it was just, go fast.
Yeah.
Dude, that's in a nutshell one of the biggest pet peeves, one of the worst things about existence. You try to help, you're being proactive, you're trying to communicate, but then you fuck up on the effort of trying to help, so then it's like 5 steps back.
Yes.
Oh my
that's
God,
my life.
dude! That happens too much to everybody, and it makes me, when it happens to me, it makes me go like, "Oh, this is why people are bitter. This is why they're jaded. This is why they don't go out of their way, because sometimes it gets all up in your face, and now you have to send somebody $500.
You end up making it worse. All you wanted to do was invite your friend to a party.
Well, no, all you wanted to do is to get someone that's famous at the party to make you look better in front of our listeners. Look, I'm doing the math on this. It wasn't like, hey, Vince, I know you haven't had a good time recently because of personal reasons. Come on out to our event and I'll show you a good time and you can kick back and relax. It had nothing to do with that.
Oh, would you like to come to our event? April 19th. You know where.
You do know where.
It's not even really a secret.
It is going to be fun though. Yeah. And if you and you do have to be a BDM, and if you need help with your account, even as early as tonight, whatever, show at TomandDan.com. I'll help you out.
All right. Ross, how's it going, man?
Dude, it's going great.
Good to see you.
It's going better than you. I felt for you right there.
Well, it's always going better than me.
We fixed it. That's good now. We fixed that. Also, another piece of really good news. Here's a little icebreaker. We are now in the Temu affiliate program.
All right.
So if our listeners buy really expensive Chinese shit, we get paid money.
Hold on, there's nothing expensive on Temu.
Well, it's going to be a little more expensive, but still very, very reasonable. The only thing
what's the affiliate code, Tom and Dan?
No, we don't have our code yet. They're going to reach back out with our code, but
that comes in like 2 weeks, give or take.
We get
shipping
20%.
And handling.
We get 20% of whatever they spend.
Dude, when Amazon used to do this,
we made bank.
This was like 15 years ago when Amazon needed promotion.
Yeah.
And there was like, hey, use this thing called Amazon. And they did an affiliate program. And there was a time where we were making like $1,100 a month off of fucking people buying shit on Amazon. It didn't cost them $1.
Mm-mm.
Like it
was the same price. It was just we got credit for you using our affiliate because we're like telling you about Amazon.
Yeah.
And there was some dude that would buy, like he had to buy a shit ton of stuff through Amazon for his work.
It was computer
through
equipment.
his company. And so he's like, I'll just go through you. And this guy, one listener, made us thousands and thousands of dollars. And
he bought like $18,000 worth of like PCs that he needed for like a data server.
And then you just saw an opportunity.
And then we got like $3,000 of that.
I thanked him.
Have you checked up on that guy?
No, we don't care about it.
Maybe he's in debt. He's homeless now.
Much like Vince Taylor, we just care about his fame and money.
No, he's hearing this now. And he's like, oh, thank you.
It's cool. You make 2 G's.
Why is he Asian?
Crushing
her. Thank you, Don. Why'd you do that? You're not allowed to do that. You know you're not allowed to do that. It was the Temu thing. Subconsciously, I planted racism in his brain.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, he heard that. He's like, oh, thank you, Don.
I will say everything on Temu is garbage. Sorry.
I've only used it one time, and it ties in. I used it for our last luau, the BDM appreciation party, and I bought a bunch of the light-up lays.
Oh, those weren't that bad.
They were not bad. So I can't say from my own personal experience of I think it's Temu, actually. I think what I got was reasonable, and it worked really good. The only problem that I have with it, I don't like the packages. They're always in a bag. You never get anything in a box.
No box,
they
all
don't
bag.
Do they're all bag. And then they're also, it's kind of like me. I'm all bag, no penis.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like, I don't like
heavy foundation.
It takes too long. Like it
takes...
took a legitimate 6 weeks to get those things. If I hadn't ordered them earlier, they would have never made it here.
They're coming by sea or something.
They're coming. No, but like they're coming by Taipei. They're coming like a Taipei,
like a tuk-tuk,
like an old wooden opium ship. Like it takes forever.
I ordered a pair of gardening shears one time because they were like $5 or whatever. Like gardening shears are expensive as shit. They're like $20 at Home Depot, but they were 40% tinier.
Yeah,
normal.
So many jokes.
There he goes. There he goes.
They were like dolls gardening shears.
Give me those. I got a lot of dolls.
And I was like, this is weird. But that's it. Anyway, So
I've never bought anything off of Temu, but now I kind of want to feel the rush.
Okay, let me ask you a question because I had a record. I was no Temu and no Uber Eats. Have you Uber Eats?
I have not Uber ate in quite some time.
Yeah, I've never Uber eaten. I'm extremely proud of that because my surgeon, he's like, oh, yeah, every meal is not Uber Eats. Oh, everybody I know is Uber Eats. I've never once Uber Eats.
It's bizarre.
Not even one time.
It's, so you've never had the weird social interaction of a person who does not know you walking up to your house and it's this, they drop it off. It's very drug-esque.
No.
I have bought drugs and Uber Eats, and it's the same vibe. They show up. They don't want eye contact. It's like a quick little. It almost feels like the high five, like the cash is in the handshake. Every Uber.
I don't like
experience.
it. You know what I like? I'm a traditionalist. I like a pizzeria. They're not affiliated, but I like a pizzeria like a Tomasino's where the driver pulls up. And their logo is a fedora, and he's got on a fedora, and I know it's him.
Dude.
I like him to walk up, and I'm like, I look at the fedora, I look at the pizza, I'm like, I know where that guy's from.
Pizza restaurant with a fedora theme?
Badass.
Shit,
It's
slaps
badass.
right there. That goes hard. Someone cares.
For a while, I believe Tomasino's made them wear a fedora and a clip-on bow tie, and that was fucking awesome, dude. I would order there just because there's something cool about it.
There's a bow tie incident.
All of the people inside, the workers, except for the grumpy guy making your pizza, he was really good. He had a ponytail. He wouldn't wear it, but every worker there had a fedora on. I loved it.
I like it when they deliver my food in front of, like, I got a wrought iron door. I got two front doors.
He lives in a bad neighborhood.
You're talking about your
screen door.
Yeah.
You're talking about your Uber Eats driver?
Yeah.
The same door of every black grandma I grew up with in DeLand. They all had the wrought iron door because they always lived in like a kind of a questionable
We
area.
call those DERs.
DERs. I like that.
I open my main door and then I look through the wrought iron door and I see it sitting right there where I'm like, I'm going to have to push my food over.
No, you have to go around back. You have to go around back.
No, every time I just push slowly over, it just all spills over. And then I'm like, doesn't this guy have ever, like, do you realize, like, hey, this door opens out. I should put it to the side.
What about when they hang it on the doorknob? What do you think about that? What do you think about it hanging on the doorknob?
No, never.
I've never had it hang on the doorknob, but I have had this, and this is super awkward. I'll try to meet them on the doorstep, or maybe even cut some of their journey up to my front door.
No, I look at the window, wait till they drive away.
Me too.
So either they're dropping off at the door and going away, or I'm meeting them halfway. But one time, I met them halfway. It was a Spanish woman, and her kids were in the car, and it just made me like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but it made me go like, do they want some?
Put a blanket over your kid.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't need.
That's how they used to get Elvis out of venues where there weren't a lot of people cheering for him. They'd put a blanket over him and pretend like people were cheering at the end.
But it was just such a weird moment seeing a child all of a sudden. I ordered a quesadilla, and now there's an 8-year-old in my driveway.
And it makes you feel guilty about the small tip you left.
You boost it later. Put a boost on it.
One of the big reasons why, though, about the Uber Eats thing is that, like, you've got to, I am a big believer, you got to tip those Uber Eats drivers, like, pretty hard. But that's also what made me kind of stop going to Uber Eats. Is like, if I'm not willing to tip, I'm going to go drive.
A $5 tip is good, right? For all Universal, no matter the amount. A $5, that's a $5 standard.
I absolutely love the fact that a new man comes in. You're the new man. A new man comes in here, and I can see in his eyes, he thinks you're a cheap bastard. Look at his facial expression. I'm going to put him on the big camera.
You just said $5 Universal. You're going to make some people squirm when they hear that.
Yeah.
$5 Universal, that's wild.
This guy still thinks $1 you can buy moon pies and penny whistles with it. This guy.
Well, I'm just saying, does it matter what's in the bag, whether it's filet mignon or goddamn...
This guy, the market, he's doing a whole pump and dump, this guy right
this
here.
old saltwater taffy Tom, man.
But the amount of work is the same. You grab the bag.
What would you tip?
It depends on what I'm ordering.
You do a percentage?
Oh, 100%.
I always do a percentage, too.
It's a percentage thing.
Hold on.
You're making a lot of enemies today.
What rule? Where did you hear this $5 Universal
He made it
rule?
up. He doesn't list price. First of all,
done that.
can I correct you? I don't mean to scream, but you're saying, where did you hear? He doesn't listen. So that's not a thing.
He don't listen.
That's a good standard. No, some people don't even do that. Now, that's a generous $5 Universal
You're giving yourself a compliment.
Some people don't even do that. They do $2
He
or some
said
shit.
$5. Who did that? That's a great person.
But I'm saying they're picking up what it shouldn't matter what the expense of the contents in the bag.
It's always been based on percentage. That's how I always learned to tip.
Yeah, but no, it's for a restaurant.
You get your food from a restaurant. He's not delivering it from his house.
Yeah, but the tip,
if he was, I'd probably maybe give him more.
Yeah, but if he picks it up from a steakhouse or he picks it up from McDonald's, it's the same work.
No, I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to say that what the system is in place right now doesn't have a couple of holes in its flawed system.
That's
You
good.
pick up the bag, you deliver the bag. It's a universal
so you're like
tip.
blanket. If it's a big bag, if it's a small bag, it's $5.
Well, if it's 10 bags, maybe you up the tip, but if it's a bag, it shouldn't matter if it's in the contents.
But you don't know how many bags. There's a flaw in this.
Yeah, okay, there now.
You don't know how many bags because the way that they package it, they don't say 6 bags in the thing. So you're going to tip $5. This guy comes up with 10 bags, and you're going to go, sorry, didn't know about the bags.
That's never
flawed
10
system.
bags. For me and my family, it's always 1 or 2
You're
bags.
having the tip get determined whether or not the Mexican restaurant puts beans and rice in the same thing with the quesadilla or 2 separate containers.
This guy. Boom. We got a food scientist on the show.
That's the ground
today.
you're standing
wow,
on.
I'll shake my cane at
That's
that.
your ground.
I'm
That's
shaking my
No,
cane.
hold
That's
on.
your side, Mr. Universal $5.
As long as it's not multiple trips from the car. If it's 1 trip, even if it's 4 bags, same tip.
Well, wait a minute.
It's
What if
1
he's
trip,
doing the thing that I
it's
do
the
with my
same
wife
thing.
where I'm challenge me, put them all on me, and then I go,
Yeah, what is
do
it?
you ever do the challenge
them
me?
all on
You don't
me.
do the challenge me?
I've done it, but I just grabbed them. I've never looked at my wife and went,
Okay.
give me more.
There was a character in
That's awesome.
He-Man. There was a character in He-Man that I have the body style of. I forget the guy, but he was the guy that you could push his head down and then he would launch and wreck walls.
Okay, so
He was a short Weidman.
Okay, a little.
He was in He-Man.
He was roll a plug.
Do you remember that character? You were a He-Man boy. The chat room will look it up, but he's a little man, and you'd push him down, and he'd get smaller.
All I
and he
remember
was
is
wide as hell.
Skeletor.
I forget his name. Anyway, I do that all the time. We get home from Publix, and I'll say, put them all on me, challenge me. And I hold my arms out like a tree, and then the girls hang all, like it'd be 20 bags. And then I walk like the juggernaut, like even if I can't do it, and I go walk all the way up the stairs, and it's a little challenge.
I really loved one part of that, which is you threw in the 20 bags. There's still that sense of pride. There is a pride that I think it's just born with all men where it's like, I can carry bags.
Yeah,
There's
I
this-
like carrying bags.
There's like this prime, it makes me go back to a caveman and like, I could do it.
Yeah, it's like a donkey. The work donkey.
Can I pivot to something that's bothering me that has to do with carrying bags?
Yeah.
We got an email from a listener, and it says, checking out at IKEA in the self-checkout line with 59 items was hard enough when there is not a conveyor belt to put your stuff on. After checking out, the screen told me I need an employee to find 11 items and rescan them. Everything was stacked in one basket, so it took her a few minutes. After she did that, the screen told her that she needed to rescan all items that would emotionally versus non-emotional. What would you do if you were emotional versus non-emotional at that point? If I wasn't with my family, I would have walked out and told them that there was an issue checking out, and I would come back another day. It turned out the reason why is because we bought bins and didn't know that the lids were a separate purchase.
Well,
Notice that the employee was scanning all of the lids. However, she did not rescan the stuffed animal my son was holding, and the price in the end was within pennies of each other. I would say, and I wrote back to him, I'd say, you have no business using, in the first line, 59 items in the self-checkout. You're a horrible person. And I like this emailer. This guy, I'm going to give this guy, I'm going to give him my Blackstone grill. But this guy you're a monster. 59 items in self-checkout? That's for one guy going there to get some light bulbs and a lamp for his wife. It's not for you.
Those are quick scans. 59 on a
Yeah, you have no
self-checkout.
business. You were wrong, and you should have known you were wrong. Your email is nulled. I don't even care about your question because you have 59 items in self checkout.
Every once in a while, I will see a person at Publix
They always
with
do
a
it.
full cart.
It's old ladies.
Self checkout.
It's old ladies, and not really old ladies. 60s old ladies.
Yeah.
Like in their 60s.
I'm like, it is weird that you have decided to do self checkout with a full cart. Which the self-checkout
Now,
universally is for smaller,
My wife worked at IKEA and was a high-level manager.
10, 15 items.
Pissing on my cornflakes. She says IKEA is mostly self-checkout now. There are only 2 non-self checkout. Well, I would say still with 59 items, you got to go to one of the ladies.
You got to find one.
Yeah, you got to find one. And then if that's the case, if they go all non-checkout, or no people, I'm not going anymore.
There'll always be one.
I'm willing to give up stuff because I don't want to do it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, Uber Eats.
Yeah.
I avoid self-checkout.
Why?
I like humans. Humans are my jam. I still like that. That's what I'm used to. I understand that there's a place for the self-checkout for most people, but if I have the option, I'm down. Let me go meet, Brittany who's working or Jason or
so
something.
you're a chirper
He's like
Daniel.
me, yeah.
You like to small talk?
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah.
You like to make someone's day with your little jokes?
Yeah.
I'm glad that he said I made someone's day because I do believe that.
No, I'm just saying that's what you think.
Much like the $5 delusion, I do believe I'm making people's days. We're both crazy.
Yeah, I'm fine with the interaction, and also it kind of feels like my ethics of like, man, this got worse. Like self-checkout, like, all right, where's my paycheck now?
I like it when people say that. That's one step off of where's what people TV.
Well, I just start thinking like, man, all right. It feels like very fondue-y. Like I avoid fondue for the same reasons that I avoid self-checkout.
Well, they should give you like I
don't want to put in this amount of work.
Here's a 1% discount for you doing the work. Like they should do something.
Some discount. If there was a discount, I'm all about it.
Because
that's actually a really good idea.
The company has saved money on an employee, and I know how employees are expensive because they're going to sue you. That you have to pay fucking unemployment. There's tons of.
They're going to cause problems.
Yeah.
One of them's going to poop on your bathroom floor and smear it on the walls because he has mental illness. Right? There's a lot of mental illness.
There's a lot of things.
I'm helping public.
I'm not even joking with that one. That happens at every place my wife has worked. One employee has shit on the floor and rubbed it on the wall.
Yeah, they're going to call in sick 85 times because of COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like they're horrible. And so I'm saving Publix and employees.
God, you really pissed some people off with that fondue comment. Holy smokes. Wow, this guy coming with the hot takes.
I'm also pretty much anti-fondue. Come at me.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I just like I'm not good at cooking. That's why I went out to the restaurant.
Yeah.
I understand this is arts and crafts and fun, but like I got entertained by the cheese dip about twice, and I was like, all right, cool. Now, when does
where's the cheese dipper come out?
Where's the guy who dips the? It's me, okay. And then it's 4 hours long. You smell like oil. Ooh, don't get me started.
Fact. I do not like the smell. Like you come out there smelling like a Waffle House. Here's a fun fact: when Tom goes to fondue, tips himself $5. A lot of people don't know that.
It's the standard.
And then he's like, before he walks in, he's like, "Oh, this is fondue. I'm cooking $5."
He tips himself $5 and then gets mad over the tip.
Well, hold on. Like if you order from Chris, why would you? Because
my girls are out of town. Maybe I should order from Chris. What if I Uber Eats a delicate $75 steak?
Just a tomahawk.
Yeah.
And then
hell yeah.
And so like you're ordering $150 dinner from Chris, right?
Steak and twice baked potato.
So you want me to tip the Uber driver $38 or something, whatever, because they're still picking up a bag. If they go to McDonald's, then and get $10 worth of shit.
I'm not saying it's right. It's just what I do. I've always been a percentage guy.
I'm not saying that it's. Listen, I'm not saying that it's right, but I will say that like it's way better to tip that 30% on that steak than tip 5 on the steak. Both systems are flawed, but there's one of them that's way worse.
Okay, that's an accurate answer. Is that if you lay both answers out, which one does less damage?
You're looking for the
tipping does less damage.
You're looking for the lesser evil.
Yeah,
here.
the $5 tip is a middle finger to the $100 steak.
Fuck the system.
Yeah. They need to hide the price from the Uber drivers. If they did that, this all would be fixed.
I think that's a real thing,
let them
right? Don't
know
they,
what you're spending.
Don't guys try to take the bigger orders for tip? Isn't that like a real thing? I don't know. I've never driven a delivery thing, but I see, even going to get my haircut yesterday, I saw like a guy going in and like getting his order. It looks stressful to me when those people drive the orders. It does not look fun.
If you get some cheap, you order food. You can order food from 7-Eleven, which is real bad.
My 7-Eleven on Corinne, that's the one I go to all the time. I know the manager, Tony. I love her. That's my store. All the girls in there.
They care.
I love them.
Are you about to tell me that this food is ripping over there?
They know my wife. They talked to my wife this morning about the Orlando Magic. That's my home store, Corinne. The amount of Uber Eats shit that goes out of there in the mornings when I'm buying a Diet Mountain Dew, you'd be embarrassed. It's in a paper bag sealed. It still has the COVID seal on it where they don't open it. I mean, if I'm lying, I'm dying 12 bags of shit, like milk, cereal. Lazy parents are like, I forgot cereal. I'm just going to Uber Eat some cereal.
From 7-Eleven?
From 7-Eleven. Taquitos, hot dogs. I see hot dogs go out. I see... but
it's a convenience. So you're taking away Uber Eats from a grocery store.
I'm just telling you that while I'm standing in line,
Walmart delivery.
I see Tony, the manager, ringing me up, and I see her workers behind me packing these bags that go to Uber Eats, and they put the COVID sticker on them, and they line them up for the people to come get them.
I won't judge anybody who ever, Uber Eats some gas station food, but if it's like on a weekly thing, if you're weekly Uber eating gas station food, like it's part of your schedule, that I will judge you a little bit there, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You got to put down those Bahama Mama sausages.
Okay, Andrea went to get gas. Andrea went to get gas at that same store where she got a compliment from the manager, Tony, on her Orlando Magic shirt. When she was there at noon, every second person in line was picking up Uber Eats.
Something, you're making mistakes.
Sometimes you just want a hot dog.
Just get in your car, drive drunk. It doesn't matter. The 7-Eleven's right there. How far is anybody from a 7-Eleven?
I want to know what they're getting. What do you get, like 5 taquitos and a Diet Mountain Dew? What do you get?
But it's so much more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So are you rich or are you poor?
I'm a fan of those taquitos, man.
I wish I wasn't. I do like them.
I like them a lot. I like treating them like a cigar, and then I smoke them, but then I'm just taking a bite.
I made a problem. I made a big problem. I gave one to my athlete daughter. I gave her a taquito a couple of weekends ago. And what do you think? Do you think she liked him or hated him?
Oh, she loved it.
She loved it.
Yeah.
She
was born in Florida, right? She's a Floridian.
She was like, she was like, I can get these whenever I want because she loves tacos. I was like, yeah, you totally can. She's like, this is fantastic.
7-Eleven taquitos. That's our wand here in Central Florida, dude. That's what we do over at Hogwarts, dude.
Obicioso!
Sodioso!
I do enjoy when
Sodio. My fingers are so fat.
I
need water.
And this happened a lot more.
That's funny.
A lot more back in the day.
Oh, no,
Ross, you'll understand. Back in the day, not so much now because of fucking LeBron James and Brady and shit with their fucking real diet, all veggies and like no meat.
LeBron's ridiculous.
But back in the rubbed a genie lamp or something.
Early 2000s, there were a lot of I eat McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
I think Chad Ochocinco would eat.
I feel like Luca's kind of like that, and
day.
people are shitting on him, right? Like people are starting to turn a little bit on Luca, and I feel like he's still that guy.
He's amazing, but the diet, and you're talking about there's that clip of him getting
he whines a lot, and people don't like that.
Yeah.
But he's not back to Marshawn Lynch when
ripped.
he's like, I eat Skittles all the time. He's like Skittles, but he is an Adonis, insane athlete, But Luca's like, their arms are a little
doodly.
They're just not defined at all.
Yeah,
so like some straight Russian arms. Anyway, all right, let's take a break.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go get a taquito.
I would eat one. What are they, like 300 calories for one? I bet, right? Terrible.
300 calories in a death wish.
Yeah, so bad for you.
They're so much fun.
I know there's some protocol about how long you're allowed to let them just roll there, but no one's following that.
We'll ask other Ross. He used to work at 7-Eleven.
But
if you time it out right at like 9:30, right when they're throwing them away, they just toss them to you.
But what I'm saying is they're not following the protocol. 90% of the time.
Mine does. I see, but you know what? I'm going to tell you something that's also embarrassing. And we can leave with this. They sell them so fast that they're not going in the trash. You think that they're being wasted. They're not. The little guy in front of me that's the construction worker that I see, and we know each other, I don't think he speaks English. He'll get 5 of them. And they can't put them on there fast enough, man.
Yeah, and that's not lunch. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
It really is.
That's 1 in the morning, 2 for lunch, 2 at night.
right. Does your body
it's like antibiotics
adapt? Because,
yes.
If you told me, drink every day, which I used to do, and then eat only taquitos, breakfast, and then maybe lunch, you know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know, you have some sort of dinner, but, go to 7-Eleven for breakfast and lunch, and then drink every day. It would wreck me, right? People do it. and are fine with it.
Not only do people do it, a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
And
Like
some
a
people are
lot.
good at it.
Okay, for both of you, because I know my wife looked up 2 taquitos and a Baby Bell cheese from 7-Eleven. You just ordered lunch. You're a construction worker. Or no, you're a lazy pothead, and you wanted 2 taquitos and a Baby Bell cheese. It's this big.
No.
And you ordered it from 7-Eleven, and they're going to bring it to you. Uber Eats. What do you spend for that? Without tip.
Okay,
What do you spend?
Well, you pay the upcharge that Uber Eats charges you.
This guy's getting hungry. You hear that? It's
Taquito talking right there,
All this
dude.
taquito talk. Fun
God
Tom
damn.
came out. Fun Tom is inside of Skinny Tom, and he's fighting his way back out. He heard taquito. He's like, "What me? I've been here at me. Taquito me."
Can I swallow them back? It's like the bird from Wednesday or whatever the fuck. Tuesday?
Tuesday. You're close.
So Fun Tom is in there. We just got to. He's in there.
I was burnt about it.
Got to get those treadmill gas station
So
foods
what do you
in
think? 2 taquitos and a cheese. And a piece of cheese.
I'm going $12.
I'm going $18.
Without tip, it's $13.23. $13.23.
That's one of those questions that you don't want to get that right.
So for you, it's $18.23, and for you, it's wow. For you, it's like I don't know. What do you?
Well, but now
No, yours is
the
less.
percentage
Yeah.
is less.
Yours is less.
Yeah. We're
Yep.
just more of a
So
crime.
yours is $1.23, so it's like $3, $4.
Yeah,
so
I'm
if you
tipping
did-
$3-4.
Okay,
In
so-
that sense, I got you.
So yeah, because now
I didn't see this coming.
Yeah, I didn't.
because they're going to be like, it's the same work I just picked up back from Chris and now from 7-Eleven, and I'm fucked. Anyway, let's take a break.
Yes.
And when we come back, I'll tell you about a magic special I watched with the family that
Okay.
that everybody should go back and revisit from the 90s.
okay, I like
because
that.
it was great. And I'll tell you about a new thing I've been teaching Max.
Love it. The name of the artist, these guys are completely blowing up, and we are very lucky we get to play them. The name of the band is Wet Leg. The name of the song is Catch These Fits. We'll be right back with more A Mediocre Time momentarily. Bye-bye.
Let me tell you about a super easy, good for business of life thing you could do right now.
I like it.
Which, especially if you purchased a house or got a mortgage within the past, let's say 2.5 years or so, Brian Zymel from Streamline Mortgage will put you on a list, and he'll get your information, and then when it's a good time to refi, and it means he could save you tons of money, he will contact you. So you don't have to do anything. It doesn't cost you any money.
He does all the work for you.
Yeah.
I did a version of this, remember? It was some sort of insurance that I had to hold for like the first 5 years that I had my house, and then I couldn't refi. Remember this?
Yeah.
And then he put me on a list. It was different, but he put me on a list, and then he called me, and he's like, okay, you don't have to carry that type of insurance now. We can shift you over to this, and then you can refi.
Yeah. And then it saves you money.
Well,
and then
I don't. That's not my world. I don't
Yeah.
know how to do that stuff. I don't want to know how to do that stuff. I mean, Brian, he loves that stuff.
Yeah, and if you already use Brian, you're already on the list. He will contact you if it's a good time to refi. But even if you haven't used Brian, you could still gonna get on his list. Just text him if you go to streamlineflorida.com. That's the website.
Yep.
And then you see a Tom and Dan logo. You click on that. Underneath that is Brian's cell phone number. You could text him or call him
He
anytime.
loves to hear from you.
Yeah.
And please make sure you say you're a BDM.
Oh yeah,
Say
he'll-
you're a listener. Say Tom and Dan. Just say, hey, I know Dan. And he'll be like, okay.
He will go above and beyond for you. He always has. Since we've been working with him for a long, long time, hundreds and hundreds of mortgages that he's helped our listeners with. So do what's good for yourself and the business of life. Contact Brian Zymel at streamlineflorida.com.
Hey! Welcome back to Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan, losing track of time.
I am Tom. Ross Paget is here.
hey.
How you doing, Ross?
I'm doing phenomenal.
So you got any gigs coming up?
I have Fringe. I'm also going to be doing stand-up in Orlando this upcoming, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay.
And that will be happening at Luna downtown
Nice.
on the 19th.
Okay.
So that's happening. So many gigs. If you are trying to support a local performer, it would be my honor to be that local performer. The Orlando Fringe Festival, I was just telling you guys about some of the sketches. It's
going to be great.
I love sketch comedy, and I think the reason why is because I think it's the hardest.
And you're really good at it.
Yeah.
And
I'll throw Joel in there too.
Oh.
If you get a chance to see these guys do their performances, whether it be video, whether it be their podcast, or whether it be this show, which is purely sketch, I think this is the one. This is a great starting point because it's. Am I correct in thinking that the two of you, that is the pure love there? That sketch love is the
thing that we love comedy. We love telling jokes. We love a perfect joke. Just we love cutting great jokes to make the other great jokes that much better. That's probably the sickest little high that we get on writing comedy. This is we would always coin the term. We always said killing our babies. We love killing our babies so that way the other babies get to even look stronger. I don't know. It's a weird way of describing it, but very proud. Very proud.
It's no kookier than a $5 blanket tip. To me, it's the same. Great. You guys are fucking wild lunatics.
But yeah, this year the Orlando Fringe Festival, 10 new sketches.
You're calling it like I love going to Pedophile Island. That's what I call.
That's just what we call it.
That's what I call killing it on stage.
Yeah.
You're like, why would you do it? Why'd you call it
man, I was really sucking a baby's dick out there. What?
Why would you say that?
Sucking the baby's dick when you're killing it on stage.
With sketch comedy, I just think out of all forms of entertainment, when it rains, it pours, man. If it's good, it is so fun to be in a room with great sketch comedy, and that's what we're bringing back. Last year, we won awards.
Yeah.
This year, we learned a lot from last year. I think these 10 more sketches, even better than last.
Do you step out before the return of 10 more sketches? Or is it 10 more sketches?
Yeah. The name of the show is 10 more sketches.
So 10 more sketches, and then you have to step out, and before it starts, and set your award on the front and corner of the stage, right? You set your awards out there to let people know.
We just let them know, like, hey, that's us.
Yeah, this is us.
We did that.
Award winning.
Yeah, it's like wearing your Super Bowl rings to any sort of awards dinner you go to.
I like it. Jerry Rice does that a lot. Jerry Rice is addicted to doing that. I like that, and he's mean. Like I forget he was somewhere.
Like Jerry, we know Jerry.
No, he was somewhere.
We all know. You don't have to wear them.
Jerry Rice was somewhere last season, and then they started like. It was San Francisco versus somebody, and San Fran won, and then the fans were like booing him, and he had all of his rings on, and he held them all up.
I would do it.
And then he does double bird middle fingers to the fans, and I'm like, whoa, Jerry Rice.
I probably wouldn't have done that, but I would flex on my Super Bowl rings.
Me too.
So, Ross, I'm constantly looking for ways to bond with my sons and become, teach them things and for them to look at me like
cool, like you're God.
Yeah. Like I know, like, oh, my dad taught me this or whatever. It rarely happens, but
the relationship that in the video game God of War, that God of War has with his
covered in ash from
his child. He wants his sibling or his kids rather to look at him as
like
he is
Kratos.
Is a Kratos, literally a killing machine and the savior of the world.
Right, you got to take a life in front of your kid.
So Max recently got into Magic card tricks,
yes.
Right? And
that could go either way. When you get into Magic, you could go nerd.
This happened really, like he got really into it. We went camping down in Deerfield Beach, and all our friends.
I met an old man in a cabin. The magic old man.
He was a shaman. He had belts around his neck and teeth.
He met a man called the Amazing Blackstone.
He had the Ace of Spades in his front pocket, deep down in there.
What'd you dig for it, boy?
So
dig in there. Find that foam ball.
He really enjoyed showing all the other kids, like my friends' kids,
He's
like
a performer.
magic tricks.
He's a performer, dude.
And then he started like, I need to learn more. And then like my Dre taught him one, and then Fernando taught him one.
Oh, this is awesome.
And then I realized
all of his friends are magicians.
Yeah, they just every dad knows one card trick.
I know a couple. I got some.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm like, I love TikTok. TikTok's got the card tricks, so I started following some magicians, and then there's all these tutorials about card tricks. So
hey, what's up? It's the Card Shark, and this is my card trick of the day.
So
I blow my head off.
I started learning a card trick.
Make sure to hit like and subscribe.
And then every day Max would come home. This happened the past 2 weeks. Like every day he'd come home from school, I'm like, I learned another trick. And he's like, oh, yes. And then I teach him the trick. And
Please
he's
tell
like,
me you wear a top hat.
Hey, a
Do you wear a
fedora.
top hat?
It's a fedora from the pizza restaurant.
Top hat, Tommy?
And
Pizza fedora. I'll buy you one.
So I'm learning these card tricks, teaching them the card tricks, and then that progressed into.
You got good at this?
Well, I actually know a decent amount of card tricks now.
Yeah.
But
I do love a good card trick. And you know what I like? I like the ones that are idiot-proof because it's just math.
Yeah. There's a lot of those where it's all math.
You gotta count.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just
most of them are all
it's
just
like
math.
You put the cards in order, so if you shuffle it 7 times, the card on the top is a king.
Yeah.
I love that.
There's lots of those.
Yeah, I love those because that, to me, there's something calming to me because it means science is real and math is real. Maybe that's crazy,
but also
it calms my anxiety knowing that that's a finite, execution.
Yeah, it's not bullshit.
Yes.
It's just math.
Yeah,
It does it takes the wonder all away. It kills all the fun of it.
Yeah, it does.
I'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But
This is painfully cute.
so
This is so adorable.
This is also very Norman Rockwell because the little magic kit that kids buy, the
It's-
putting on the
we
performance.
bought 'em that.
This is very Americana.
It feels very Americana. About to say that, yeah.
So then that led into my buddy Fernando told me about David Blaine's, like he's got this Nat Geo thing where he it's on Disney Plus where he travels around the world and it's more
David Blaine does magic for savages.
it's more of like him is showing what people can do that seems like magic but is real life biology, like some monk that can regulate his body temperature and
This
freezing cold.
podcaster in Baldwin Park has a 1-inch penis.
But it's not so much magic tricks, and so
I saw the commercial for it. It made me laugh so hard because it made me go all right, I guess David Blaine was like, fuck it. They don't want magic anymore. I'm jumping off shit.
yeah, that's right.
I'm just going to risk my life.
So he's just kind of a travel show.
It's like smart jackass.
Yeah, it's essentially he
I'm
just
into that.
shows you what other people have trained themselves to do, which seems unbelievable, but it's not even a trick at all. It's like this guy
those
can
dudes
hold
that
his breath for 13 minutes.
that guy. I've seen the guy, and you guys may have seen him on TikTok. That can do a one-hand handstand. And he can do a push-up on the one hand.
Yeah, it's just some unbelievable thing. And then it's more of they've trained themselves to regurgitate water continuously from their stomach.
Wait, that's that fat Indian guy. I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
It's a
he
weird...
drinks the pitcher of water, and then people come up to him, and they touch his belly, and he's like, whoa.
Yeah, you just spray it out for 3 minutes
And you can do it for 3 minutes straight.
Yeah.
That guy's fantastic.
And it's so it's not even really tricks anyway. So we were the kids were disinterested in it, and then we're what? And then I saw things you may also like. The David, this is a gym, and I encourage everybody to go back and watch it. The 1997 David Blaine Street Magic Special. Did you remember this?
I just remember, when he first
You're way
broke
younger.
When he first broke out on the scene, though, it was all street magic, right?
Yeah. And they debuted it on television, and they were it was a television event. It was on ABC, and I remember, and I was in high school in '97, and I remember watching it or whatever. But I hadn't watched it since the '90s, right? I received David Blaine do all this shit, whatever. So we're watching that because there's a lot of card tricks and whatever. And
the close-up magic was really his thing, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning.
It is a stereotype bonanza. Tommy in the middle of it asked me, and this is 100% true. He's like, "Why do all the black people run away?"
Yeah.
Which I laughed, and then all the white people boring. They just get frozen and wonder. And then he does it in front of a group of
Is
Asians.
it this one right here? Did I find the right
respectfully clap
I gotta hold it right here.
You know how people change the consistency?
Yeah,
of the
that's it.
metals?
There you go.
No. What? How people change what?
Consistency.
forgot.
Like if you squeeze something, if you squeeze a piece of metal, it heats up. That's obvious.
Oh yeah, he does it. By the way, these are all old tricks that you could buy at the fucking magic store now.
Yeah, Drake just made that nigga disappear. He looks very much like Drake in this.
I forgot that Deion Sanders was in this.
What?
Yeah, Deion Sanders, because he goes to the Cowboys training facility. Emmett Smith is there.
Oh, here's Emmett Smith. I found him.
You
want to see a little Emmett?
He's dressed like Sinbad, by the way. You got a vest on.
Let's see.
You know, peak 90s.
Emmett Smith got his next tail in his belt.
Yeah,
Look at that.
That's the belt buckle.
Emmett Smith has his next tail.
He's got the chirp next to his nut.
Yes. I haven't seen that in years.
It's also like everybody's so 90s, it hurts. It's great. So anyway, we watched this, and like I said, all the stereotypes are ridiculous. And
I got David Blained.
What do you mean?
I got David Blained.
By
And,
David.
Honestly, I talked about this probably on episode 10 of Good Sauce, and it's definitely weird. It's still a weird thing. He on Real Radio, he called in to promote a show. He cursed, and we had to dump it. But this is how cool David Blaine is. He felt so bad because he didn't know that we couldn't curse. And when he showed up for his show, he came into the studio for another appearance. And kind of like in an apologetic way of like,
really?
I'm so sorry for cursing.
Oh, I thought he was like suck your dick or something.
Well,
like David Blaine suck my dick.
It's weird that he went above and beyond.
Above and beyond.
Is he autistic or something?
Dude, okay, this is when things start getting a little wonky here.
Because that does sound weird, right? Like
I got a little offended. I got offended by David Blaine.
What do you mean?
Well, oh my God, is he your enemy? Tom didn't know that. We didn't mean to make you.
No,
on tilt.
it's fine.
We didn't mean to put you on tilt.
Enough time has passed. I'm willing to talk about it. But basically, he looked at the entire room to figure out who to do this trick with. And he looked at me and went, "You, come over here." But it wasn't a vibe of like, "You seem like you'll be a good volunteer." The vibe was like, "You little punk ass bitch. You're gonna let me do whatever I want right now, starting now." That was what his eyes said. What he said was, "Come over here. I'm looking for a volunteer." But everything else was telling me like, "Oh, I have no more say."
His demeanor is very
autistic.
matter of fact.
I think he's autistic.
But also, I'd do anything he says too, because it's like
I wouldn't do a damn thing he said.
Bro, well, that's why he chose me, because I think he looked at me and was like, "This little bait ass, this little lesbian looking man ain't gonna stick up for himself. He's not gonna burn me on any trick that I do to him." And guess what? I felt every trick he did to me, and I didn't say anything. So now I feel, isn't that weird?
What
he didn't like that then, right? Because you weren't react. He wanted you to react.
That's why I'm still in a whirlwind of confusion of David Blaine. I'm still in a Cat 5 David Blaine storm, and I never got out of it.
Okay.
Because, one of the big tricks that he did was that he folded a card with his left hand while he had the whole room. And I saw him folding the card, and then he goes to shake my hand, and then he flips the card. I mean, it was slick, but he slides the card behind my watch. So then 5 minutes goes by. The punchline for the joke is, "What time is it?" And then I look at, and I knew it was there, but I couldn't burn David Blaine. Like, when he was putting the card on my watch, I couldn't be like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?"
Yes, you can. Both of you can do that. You just need more of me in your body. Because you could go like, "Hey, just put a card on my watch, this motherfucker."
Bro, I gave him what he wanted, and I would do it all over again.
I'm with you. Yeah, because you can't. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little something. The comedian or the magician that we had in that was promoting the science
Don't
center,
ruin this for me.
that he rubbed off the card.
Yeah, but you said you thought you figured this out. Or did he pull you aside?
No, he didn't pull me aside. But he came here immediately. Went to the bathroom.
Yeah,
for
he took
long
a big shit.
No, he was in there.
He went in there,
preparing his arm.
He just starts dropping it off. You can hear it.
Well, magician's taking a dump. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it's like scars.
It's like scars. Their skirts are like scars.
Yeah, they keep going. It's actually. He was actually shitting into one of those like thumbs. He was shitting into a detachable thumb, and then he put it on his finger, so we didn't know where the shit went.
So, by the way, lots of listeners sent me the YouTube video showing how the trick is done, which brings me to my next point. So, we watched...
God, enough of the points.
We watched the... You want the points?
You're getting the points.
You also can't handle them.
So many points, dude.
So, at the end of the special, remember, that's the one where he levitates, right?
Yeah.
And everybody freaks out about how he levitates.
And by everybody, you mean black people.
Well, they ran away.
Yeah, they all run
The
away.
white people are stunned. The Asians politely just clapped.
Yeah, there's like polite, stunned, and run.
Yeah. The gays were mad. The
Gays do get mad. Gays do get mad.
Angry, polite, stunned, and run.
I'm writing that down.
So anyway, my sons were like, "How the hell did he levitate?" And then Crystal was like,
I also like that his sons, they're like, how the hell? They're very, very...
and they're like, "How do you do
boys.
that?" And then Crystal's like, she's like, magic. And then I'm like,
oh, no, Santa Claus.
So then I'm like, I know. And then Crystal goes mad. She's like, don't you ruin it for them. And then, so then once I said I know, they're like, please tell me, whatever. And then I used it as like a way to get them to go to bed. I was like, I'll tell you if you go to bed right now.
If you'll that is the weirdest thing. If you go to bed, I'll tell you all the world's greatest magic secrets.
I'll show you how to levitate if you go to sleep.
You're the fat guy. You're wearing the gray mask. You made the guy, the masked magician that he reveals all of the world's greatest tricks.
The Jabberwocky magician.
I'm always looking for negotiation leverage, just like showing up to the Cabana Lab. Anyway, so I'm like, I'll tell you if you go to bed. So they run to bed, and then I don't really know, but I know the internet knows because the internet knows everything. And the internet. So I looked, how does David Blaine do it? And then there's someone gives me a quick tutorial about like there's tons of YouTube videos explaining every trick.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And
Which
then,
is a bummer.
And then okay, so
Tom
it is.
and I, we were talking about this.
So I remember watching this in the 90s and then having no way to ever know how he did anything.
It was out of your hands. It was no recourse.
You just had to believe. You just were left.
Like part of
I
it,
knew it was a trick, but I was just like, it was like, there's no way to know.
Like it's also like to me, and you and I were talking a little bit about this morning, that in the momentness that we're missing now, right? Of like watching
mystery.
Let's say you were doing a magic trick and I'm watching you intently and I'm using my own brain power to figure it out, or I can reach my hand in my pocket and get my phone out to Google why you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's two separate execution. Those are two separate things you're doing. One of them is critical thinking with your own mind, and the other, you do have the answer there. So it's weird.
Oh man, I got to get you guys a guest. His name is Jeff Kaler. Have you not?
Is he a magician?
He is a local magician.
I love magicians,
dude. But
we love magic. We're a magic show.
This guy's different because, to my knowledge, and I don't want to blow up his spot, but his business model is basically invent 4 or 5 magic tricks a year, sell them for 6 figures to the big dogs,
Jesus,
rinse and repeat.
God, does they go for that much?
Dude, he sells...
Don't they know it's on the internet?
No, that's
Penn
the
and Teller
thing.
have done this. Penn and Teller have invented a lot of tricks that other magicians do, and they sell them.
So he's on the breaking edge of... It's not on the internet yet, and that's why the price is so high, because
it's
everyone
a variation.
knows
It's new.
This is new. No one's done this. It's a one. No, if you're filming a magic special or a magic show, I will sell you this trick. This is how you do it. I will teach you. And the secret isn't out yet, which is one of the coolest business models. Yeah, I make magic.
That's pretty dope.
But here's the thing that gets me is once he puts it, once the trick can be seen by the internet, there are the hive intelligence of the world figure it out. And then at least it's all theory because the magicians never say like
Correct.
This is how it's done.
And usually there's a couple ways to do it, or there's an out, or there's like
but the hive intelligence of the world does. I mean, at least give you an explanation that makes sense. Like I haven't seen a magic trick that no one even has an idea about how it's done.
But I think like having the way he does it, and then inventing and executing or building is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you and I may be able to look at like the magician that was in here. We might be able to come up with an idea of how he did, and we both do have an idea of how he did that trick. But I would say executing it is a different
That's
animal.
the art of it all, and of course,
and this guy's doing both.
Yeah,
You're talking about tricks that I don't. think I know all the tricks. There's that whole Penn and Teller show where it's fool us trick. Yeah. Dude, the amount of times I've just get ripped on my couch and just be like, dude, this Asian guy's killing it.
Yeah, that guy is awesome with the smoke.
With the smoke, dude, the smoke magician.
That guy's.
You know the answers to that guy?
Yeah, that guy's ridiculous.
The internet does.
He's top dog right now.
But sometimes they don't. Like you're speaking in definites again. They might. I would go with they might. You can get close.
I would
you
say
can get close, but some of it's still guarded.
98% of it is out, but the 2% that is still being celebrated, I think that's still like in a smoke-filled room with. Not just cigarette, but actual magic smoke.
right.
Like a bunch of wizards.
And then when I explained to them how David Blaine levitated, they were disappointed.
Oh, were they? No!
There's never...
So why do you think... Let's analyze that for a second. Is it
it made me happy.
I have a hate-love with magic and magicians.
I think Tom does too.
Yeah. I have a hate-love with it because, I love being entertained and I loved feeling, wow, there's still a little bit of magic left in the world. Like, how did you do that? It's a very fun feeling, but then I hate it because then you might find out the answer and you're like, dude, I'm fucking dumb. How did I not notice that?
Well, it's usually that, right? Like when Kostya Kimlot, who's a friend of the show, amazing magician. If you ever get a chance to see him, he does private shows at Christner's on Lee Road. It's phenomenal. But when he shows us the answer to a trick, it's usually very simple.
And you're like, damn it,
and
dude.
then I'm mad. Yeah, I'm a little mad.
It's like, no, actually, it's just to the left instead of to the right.
Yeah.
I told you it was to the right, but I moved it to the left. That's what got you. You're like,
it's always the simplest thing. Yeah.
It is.
By the way,
so the boys are they still into it, or are you killing their dreams of magic?
No, Max is still into learning the tricks, but it's dangerous too because there's still a glimmer of magic in their lives.
Yeah.
With...
and you want to get that out, right? Like, you want to tamp that down.
Yeah, you want to stamp it out?
Yeah, we need to get all that magic out of there.
It's hard. I'm waiting for them to make the connection because certain things like, these magic tricks, I don't say like, oh yeah, this person has supernatural powers where like, this is a trick, But then there's like... Tooth Fairy, Santa, all these. They're still lingering. I don't know. We don't dive into it. Like 100%. But
in my house, we keep them separate. Magic and Santa, we keep them separate.
But there's a Venn diagram where they cross over, where you're like, wait a minute, there's no magic. Right. Then you start going down that road, and then it's nothing.
I have an embarrassing. I've been thinking about that now. Being a new dad, I'm like, okay, we got to get the holidays in there. We got to get the icons of Tooth Fairy and Santa, all of that, but. When does that stop? I know with my childhood, I had my mom and my brother like laughing till they cried because from some strange reason, like the Tooth Fairy was the last one to go.
Oh, that was the one?
That was the one that stuck around.
That's the most ridiculous one.
I have a tendency to hold on to my fairies, too. I'm a long fairy man. It's like long-form COVID.
Yeah.
Long fairy man. I held on to fairies, too.
It goes Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, Santa.
I always thought it was Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, Santa.
But I think I might have been like showing up to like middle school going like, all right, Tooth Fairy, let's ride. Like I was in the early stages of puberty. I was like way too old to be like, I need teeth.
You're like, I wish the Tooth Fairy would come down and check me off.
She's hot as fuck, bro. I know it.
And then when my mom and my brother found that out in like the middle of an Applebee's, they just clowned me for the rest of dinner.
Write that down because I think you found we sometimes on the show.
Why'd you have this conversation at Applebee's?
Eating.
We would always go there. It was either there or Houlihan's TGI Friday.
Houlihan's is great. You just talked about category porn that is not out there. Tooth Fairy porn.
Are you sure? I bet if you go to...
Let me pull your teeth.
I don't think that's out there.
She uses the back of teeth.
Oh my God.
What do you put under your pillow?
This is the worst genre of porn.
It's terrible.
You would think it has a chance because like there's a lot of mouth stuff, but then it's all
just
teeth.
Not. And then Larry the Cable Guy.
Like
The Rock. I don't know.
Like, do you have a big Tooth Fairy tits?
Yeah, but dude,
I think when I envision the Tooth Fairy, she's flat chested.
You're like
she's thin.
You're like, oh,
Tooth Fairy's thin. Tooth Fairy's not big.
Does that make me a pedophile?
The Tooth Fairy is not curvy.
See, my Tooth Fairy is very motherly, like
curvy.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
my Tooth Fairy is skinny,
like
that lady in Severance that plays the trumpet.
Yeah.
How cool was that? The lady on Severance can play a trumpet, and when I see that, I'm like, well, why don't you do that on Severance? It's just as weird.
Hold on. What are you talking about?
The Severance lady. She could play a trumpet. The skinny Severance lady?
The redhead, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't watch the show. She was on Jimmy Fallon, and she came out playing a trumpet.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, well, that's something you don't see every day.
Anyway,
Want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
Yep.
When we come back, I want to talk about speaking of someone that forgot someone was coming, and also
My mind is rotten now.
a young black guy. Too.
Yeah. I have a podcasting school for young black boys now. Yeah, I'll tell you about it. Yesterday, the whole afternoon, I hung out with just like a young 17-year-old black kid.
Where's the pamphlet for the school?
Yeah, and he was dressed like really cool.
So we'll talk about that.
Yep.
I want to talk about I didn't know cruise ships had godmothers. That's the thing
We
that
can talk about that.
Tony Palmiotti told me this morning.
Do you know the chicken jockey controversy with the Minecraft movie?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you do know.
I
Okay,
do know
great.
about
We
it.
can bring that up and maybe tell that to Tom, and then
Ross went to Epic Universe, which I want to get his review on.
And if you had to guess, how much money are the Island Boys now claiming they made from going gay on OnlyFans?
No, really, they released a number.
They released a number.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk
Much more
We'll
after the
talk
break.
about it. The name
One of them has a baby now.
yeah, with his brother. I don't know.
It's a little tattooed, baby.
That's not true. The name of the band is Debt Neglector. They're local. I love these guys. Every time they release a new album, we play it on the show. Smart Punk Records. The brand new song, it's called Apocalypse Soon.
Is the way
Perfect title, by the way.
We'll be right back with more Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. 1-844-TOMNDAN or show at TomandDan.com for last minute emails. Bye. Do you ever get tired of telling all of our listeners all of these free things that our clients do? I mean, we work with all these different places, and then they do all of these free, I'm talking events that you can go to and be a part of, and it doesn't cost you a nickel. Now, we've got some educational ones like History Center, sometimes the Library Science Center. Okay, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right now, we're talking about that date night free. We're talking about that you and your significant other going to our friends at Fairville Mega Store. And they're doing this thing now called the Pleasure Principles, where they have these roving events at all their locations that you can take advantage of and get a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, they do awesome events. They always put together like really nice events with they bring in speakers that know everything about what
educators, freebies, giveaways, raffles, snacks, alcohol, champagne.
So on April 13th, on iDrive location, they're doing Oral 101.
Yep.
On April 17th, Sex and Cannabis at their Cape Canaveral location. On April 18th, Bootylicious Anal.
I was going to take that one, but I really wanted you to say it. I was going to take that one and help you out. And then on the 23rd, they've got Sex Toys 101, and that's all about new, latest, greatest cleaning, all of that. We had Joe in here earlier. We talked about it.
Oh, the Bootylicious one is in East Palatka.
Yeah.
So if you're up there,
They run it a little dirtier up there. Get a little mud on the tires.
But it's
Brooks and Dunn.
It's at Fairville University, and they have tons of locations. Find them all at fairvilla.com.
Easing into a Friday. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. Ross Paget is here. Good Sauce with Ross and Joel.
We're here to ride.
I want to remind everybody the food truck, the Sanford Food Truck Fiesta Battle is this Sunday. Eric's going to be out there. We ran into Angel.
We did
at our T-shirt stuffing party the other day. He was there for.
I don't
lunch.
like you when you say stuff. You got to stop with the stuffing. We're packing.
Packing.
No, I don't like packing either.
Packing's better than
Packaging.
stuffing.
Packaging. But yeah, we ran into Angel from the Monsters.
And
he's at Waco Taco.
He's going to be judging out there on Sunday. So is Brian Grimes from XL.
Nice.
So Eric will be out there giving away stuff. So if you want to swing by, it's Sanford on Sunday. And it's the food truck battle that they do.
I wonder if Brian still has his rum brand. Brian
Ask
Grimes
him when
had a
he's in.
rum brand called Yo-Ho Rum, and it had a hot chick with big tits on the label.
Sick.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And it was like, yo-ho. Get it?
Oh, all right.
I was like,
not
hell yeah.
as sick.
I was like, hell yeah. I was like, yeah.
These nuts?
Yeah. Mo Fugger. Remember Mo Fugger?
Yeah, I do. So Daniel told me that I
did
can't-
a bit of a Tom, yeah.
when was this?
This was yesterday.
Yesterday, all right.
It was yesterday, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I left the studio after we recorded,
Yeah.
and Daniel's. Usually, I leave a little bit earlier. And
Well, you had some errands to run for Crystal, I thought, or something. Yeah, something you were doing.
yeah.
And
They
you're
were
like,
working
hey, I
out.
got to go do the thing. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I just tell you that I got to.
Well, I'm also like, I'm just killing time. My daughter's at dance. I can't go see her. I could go home. I had a haircut that I wanted to get some look a little more presentable because I started looking like a homeless man.
Yeah,
People are,
you did. Yeah, I
people
saw
are
the-
emailing me and bullying me because I want to grow my hair and beard out. Everybody's like, look at how disgusting you look.
Yeah. You don't want any email subject to say, you all right, man?
Yeah, they're
that's-
exactly like after the hip transplant, he's going to be in the grave soon.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just when you dress like and look like a homeless man,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
even the people's fault. Where they're like, "Hey,
I'm doing like trucker hats, like ripped up T-shirt. Like, look how my shorts have so many holes in them.
From what?
Yeah, just style. This is my style now. Is homeless man.
Homeless kick flipper.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've been wearing the Crocs because of my stupid hip.
So, describe what happened because I was laughing my ass off this
Well,
morning.
because okay, so when I'm here by myself, because I'm a bit of an anxiety man and I don't like people messing with, like knocking on the door or whatever. Like, I just like to be like, I don't know, like, it's like when I'm in my house. Like, if the doorbell rings, I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Your
like, no matter
instinct
what
is to hide.
Yeah, no matter what it is, like, ding-doo. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, immediately. So, I turn the lights off in the lobby. And then I turn the lights off in the main room back here, our main office. And then I leave the lights on in here, but I lock everything up. I lock myself in here, and I just got to sit in here. Might be listening to music, might be smoking a fish whistle, having one of these delicious, newly branded Diet Mountain Dews. And then I get a bang on the door. Gung, 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 gung. Massive bang on the door. And I'm like, oh! And my first instinct, like Tom said, what the fuck? It freeze! And not say a word. So I do that. I freeze, and I'm like, well, they'll go away. Because that's what I always do. Because if it's Amazon, they're going to leave the package. If they're not supposed to be here, then they'll go away. If it's something Tom set up that he didn't tell me about, they'll go away. And then you'll be like, hey, did you get the package from the guy? And I'm like, well, you didn't tell me about it. And then you'll be like, and then he'll always say this, no matter what. He'll be like, oh, it's fine. Because it always, no matter what happens, he gets like.
I do like the idea.
You did give me one the other day. You're like, there's a package coming to the back of the studio. I'm like, oh, I just left, man. I'm sorry. And he's like, it doesn't matter.
I do like the idea of the owner of the business hiding inside his own business.
Ah, shit, someone's here.
And there's a customer, and the owner of the business is hiding
Well, this
under
is
the
even
desk.
worse. This is even worse. This was a favor, right?
Hides like a tornado coming.
So I get this second massive bang on the door. And I go to the door, and I kind of like peek the window open, and I unlock it. And when I open the door, it dawns on me, and I may have mentioned this on the Friday Free Show, I think when Brendan was in, that I had set up a meeting. I was being a good Samaritan. I was being little chirping good Danny. And I had set up a meeting with a young 17-year-old stylish black man to come, like a young child, a young black child to come, young black high schooler kid to come in and learn about radio. I was going to give him all my hand him all
I
of
remember
my
when
knowledge.
you brought this up on the show, and then I was saying he's not going to learn nothing from us.
Yes, you did say that.
And then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to help him."
Yeah.
I do like you're like, "I'm going to help him,"
Yeah,
but then forget that you ever. And then hide when
I'm going
knocks
to
on
teach
the
him
door.
everything
He's
right
not
after I forget about him.
He's like, you're both not wrong. I deserve all of that.
But this goes back, dude. You're trying to do something nice.
I deserve all of that and more. And I'm going to give a second apology. I did it on the Medium page. I'll do it again at the time. I had no business offering my help to this kid because I don't have the memory nor I don't have the time to do it. Like I was sitting there relaxing because I probably needed to relax before I go to get my haircut. I don't need to be helping anybody. I don't need to be doing anything.
Well, you have the time.
I did have the time. I did, but obviously I didn't care about it because I didn't remember it, right? So what was I going to say? Oh, so like he comes, I welcome him in. He comes in, he sits down, and I'm like, okay.
Did you pretend like you knew he was coming? That's what I do.
Well, of course, I had to. I had to do the top. I had to. I had to pretend. Well, I didn't. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll give you this because he's probably going to hear this, and I know that to you, if you know the person's going to hear it, that's embarrassing, right? But for me, it's not, and I don't know why there's a disconnect in my brain. But if he does hear this, because we had a good rapport, and we were friendly.
This is just for the show. The truth I'm saying is just.
I've never thought about that. As long as I've done this, I've never thought about that. That's why I always do. Pro.
I just do it for the show.
This guy's a fucking pro.
Someone will leave. I'll talk shit about them. They'll be like, I heard what you. I'm like, oh, that's for the show.
That's not real.
And then you're like, wait a minute, what is real? I'm like,
welcome to my life. I don't know.
So I'm not going to lie. I didn't say that I forgot, but I didn't say that I was expecting him either. But I did give him like a bullshit excuse. I was like, oh yeah, I turned all the lights off because, I don't want people bothering me, like coming in. Like I did give him the same spiel I gave you, which is true. So I was leading with, honesty. I was telling, but I didn't go into anything like, I didn't even know what time it was.
It's not a lie if you leave out details.
That's what I tell Tom. That's what I tell. Do I not tell you that? I tell you because he likes to share. He likes to overshare. He's like, I don't know if we told them all of the intimate details. I'm like, don't. So anyway.
So what did you teach him about the podcast business?
Okay,
so this is a mic.
We realized very quickly that he had no business here. Like, literally no business here. Again, I apologize to you. He had no business being here. I shouldn't have even set this up. Because he wants to be an R&B singer. He does jazz. He does soul. He does R&B. He does Motown. That's awesome. It is awesome. He wants to be a singer. He plays keyboard. I'm like, well, let me ask you something. If you had the time to work for us, I mean, you're very smart. You could already tell just from talking to the guy. I'm like, damn it. I wish you wanted to do podcasting, but you don't. You want to do music.
Yeah.
So I could beg you to work with us, and I can teach you things, and I can give you like our network of connections, and we did talk about that. I am still going to, on my behalf, reach out to some of my radio people I know that are in like some of my people that I knew in R&B stations, and then I know Drew knows some people that work at R&B stations. I am still going to reach out for him on his behalf, but I told him, I don't think you're going to want to do radio because they're just going to make you get coffee or a hot dog, or you're not going to be doing anything musical. You're not going to be doing anything. You're not going to be learning anything. Certainly not.
So you brought him in, crushed his little
dream. I did. I crushed his dream.
Now go on your merry way.
Yeah, I did. But then I told him I would do those things, for him. But I felt bad. But that is what I told him.
Now
I told him local churches too. That was another idea I had.
That's a great one.
I was like, your local mega churches or even mid-tier churches, they have good equipment. They usually are looking for volunteers. He plays saxophone as well.
Now
I said, in the church band, you might be able to cut your teeth a little bit. I was in the church growing up. Gave me a lot of chance to perform. Puppetry.
I would love to hear what he told his high school friends that he walked into. The homeless man with a cane answered the door.
I will say,
this limping audio goblin showed up,
and he told me, "Be gone!
You shall not pass.
You have no business here, sir."
And then did he also
one ring to destroy all dreams?
Did he do doorbell and knock, knock, knock?
We don't have a doorbell here, so he did heavy knock.
So he's probably like, well, this person told me to come here at this time.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I?
Why is all the lights off? Yeah. Why? No, what was funny, though, too, is that he did seem overly happy with the information I gave him. Like, he seemed like very excited, like almost relieved that he didn't have to work here.
Well, when he saw you, he was like, this is not.
Yeah, this is not for me. I did make that joke. I was like, because I had on I had a very bikery looking trucker hat on.
All right.
My beard was longer than this, and my hair was longer than this, and I had my cane.
Are you Jake Paul's grandpa?
And I looked at him and I said, I know I scream racist, but I can help. And he laughed. He laughed at that.
So, Ross,
that's a good icebreaker in that situation.
Well, I do look like a racist biker nerd out. Or somebody in the chat room or BDM group said I look like the bass player of a doom metal band. Way better.
That checks out.
Way better.
So,
I like doom metal.
Let's talk about internships for a second, because
Are they dead?
as much as they are less popular, and it seems like, especially big corporations, because of lawsuits, like iHeart doesn't do it anymore, and like I think other big media companies, the TV stopped doing it, and but it is a way. And I think still a good way to get your foot in the door of any company, and also
volunteering your time. Yeah, I agree.
And you can get a lot from it. Also, like, people are inherently lazy, so if you're around and that company needs you or needs an employee, like, most likely you're the first on deck to get hired or whatever, because it's like, oh, this guy already knows. He knows everybody. We already know him. It's like, let's just hire him.
Right.
And it does work.
It happened with you.
Yeah. Although...
I mean, you slid into a position. I mean, I guess you could, in a weird way, I did too. No, I did. Because Mandy would have been moving positions. They needed somebody to fill it. I was next in line. I slid right in. Yeah, I mean, it can work that way.
It can. Now, it is a gamble and whatever, but getting your foot in the door also...
Okay, Andrea's did not. Andrea was okay, so Tom's, when Savannah left, he slid into that position. When Mandy left the Drew show, I slid into that position.
No, pure luck.
Well,
Apple Annie.
You're right. Apple Annie, he's right.
Yeah. If Apple Annie's father wasn't a high-powered lawyer in town...
he was kicking some dust up. Oh.
Like the new intern batch that came after me, because they wouldn't let... I'll bitch about this in a second.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
Like, her dad saw her online dressed as a maid with her tits out or
I never
whatever.
saw that. I had chicken pox. I missed all of that. I heard she had amazing tits.
They said,
perfect for a rum bottle.
They're like, they threatened to sue the company or whatever, and Linda Bird is like, no, they told the morning show, no more interns.
Yeah. It's like when old, what's his name, Gordon Ramsay's like, shut it down.
and then all the radio people are like, we need someone to get our breakfast in the morning.
Whose tits are we going to look at?
We need someone
what the fuck?
to do all this busy bullshit work.
Yeah.
And then
who are we going to sexually harass now that you took away all the female teenage interns?
And literally, there's like, hire drunkie. That's how I got it. That was
now, Andrea.
If it wasn't for Apple Annie, there would be no Tom and Dan. There would be no show. Nothing. That one person.
We should try to find her and bring her in.
It really is.
Probably got a child now.
How much credit do you give her though? Not much. Yeah, that might be the reason why, but it's not like, she put in that it wasn't part of her plan.
Every night I light a candle for her.
It's the butterfly wing that started the stampede.
Yeah.
It's that kind of shit.
You think you're better than me because you're a poet?
Yeah. It has nothing to do with her, but it's like if that situation. But then you could go back and like, if I never even went in the first day, you can start doing this until you fucking get to birth or whatever. Like, there's always a path.
Well, Andrea,
sound of lightning.
My wife, and this is the super sour one, and I think this has happened to her once or twice, but the radio example of my wife, who was working at Magic 107.7 at the time, is that she was their better producer. She was the associate producer and the younger member of the show, and then instead of sliding her into a position that was needed, they went out and hired some old lady, and it made my wife really sad, and that changed her entire career trajectory. She was like, no more radio.
That's better for her.
And you know what I think it did? I think it ignited her fire. It's the first time, because you and I were talking about this yesterday, it was the first time that my wife was like, what? You're going to pass me over? I'm the best candidate. I'll never let this happen again. Right? It kind of like now my wife, if she feels like somebody's taking advantage of her or that like she's being, like you're overstepping her, she'll just find a better job and leave. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's smart.
Yeah, that's what most people could and should do.
She works in the background.
That's a big ask or big expectation of anybody. That's a rare character trait and should be celebrated.
Well,
it's also very scary, too. It has negatives. Everything does, right? Everything has negatives.
Well, I started getting, as I was thinking about...
It's very scary to have your wife come home and say, like, I'm quitting and getting a new job. And I'm like, what? You've done this 5 times.
All right.
Yeah, we've done this our entire... And we'll probably do it more.
Think about the mentality... it's changed now, by the way, because when I described this to you, you'd be like, oh, this is crazy. Like 20 years ago, it was 21 years ago when I was an intern, I interned for an entire year.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
21 years ago.
And
God.
so I, Monday through Friday, it was like 30 hours a week, Monday through, for the entire 50 weeks. I think there were maybe a couple of weeks off, but
God damn.
So it's like, and not one person, like, think about how insane this is. Not one person with the show, and it wasn't a thing to do back then, but now looking back at it, it's crazy, that because now if someone, like, think about if someone interned for us for an entire year, like, we would feel guilty enough to give them money at some point in time for something, right?
Oh, I got that from Press Broadcasting. I did a year with Ed Till, and they hooked me up. I got $1,000. I got those headphones, these style headphones. I got a basket. He put a bunch of condoms in there to be silly.
Oh, fun.
They always hooked me up.
You have
didn't
extra
get
money
shit
for
after
a
a year?
Well, you would.
I believe that.
No, because it wasn't a thing.
It
wasn't a thing to give intern. Like, hey, this guy's been here for a while.
No,
like, let's shoot him $100 or something.
Changed.
No one even thought it wasn't even their fault because it was like, no, you're not going to pay. Like, they're getting school credit or bullshit. Like now, like that's funny how we valued that at a different time.
Well, the value always changed, and there was no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah. Like it's insane to think that any intern would work for free for an insane amount of time. For the experience.
Yeah.
Like,
did you ever do an internship?
Not now. I wouldn't do it at 35, but I definitely would have done it at 19, 20.
Yeah.
And I think it makes the most sense to do it in your formative years when you do have the entire world that you don't exactly know what you're into. What a perfect way of finding out.
Another option I gave this kid, was like, just to get back on, like, being honest with him, I was like, how about, like, OrlandoBands.com, our buddy Ben Gardner. We love that guy. He sets up stages all over Florida.
You at least learn the back end of,
But also, like, now let me walk back my answer. Depends on the internship. Because, like, if it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and you know that it's not coming back, like, I need more context to even just give a concrete absolute no to all internships, because I bet you there's an internship that tickles everybody's fancy.
Oh yeah, no,
you're right.
And it's the number one way to give yourself a chance to follow your dream for real. Like, and this is the disappointing fact.
To me, it's the best way to learn. It's like you're getting that direct download. Like if you started teaching me a trick, like you as a human, and we have a rapport and we like each other, me learning from you is so easy. It's just like a direct download to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I can practice on my own, but the learning from the mentor, whatever, to me is like a special magical thing.
So I'll never be able to use this with my own sons, which breaks my heart because
What are you talking about?
If
that's why you got magic tricks.
I can, any kid that has any dream, I can somehow facilitate, and I'm pretty confident
Oh my God,
about
you're
this.
Castleberry Willy Wonka. I know I give you that name a lot, but this one fits. You can make the dreams come true.
I know this sounds ridiculous, but I really think that I can.
Come with me. I'm Tommy.
Okay, like say
in a world.
if someone was like, I want to work somehow in the NBA, right? I really truly believe that I know someone that knows someone in the Magic.
We do. We go right to Kenny, and then Kenny can hook us up with 9 different people that can help us get this kid into the right department.
I get it. Like, if my son's ever getting, like, my dream is to work in the NBA somewhere.
Well, why are you saying that you wouldn't? Why wouldn't it work with them?
Well, because they have no dreams just like me. They'll never.
It's hereditary.
Yeah. But and
the whole no dreams.
You guys set them up and knock them.
No, they'll never ask me. I know.
Say that about your boys.
I'd be so happy.
They're
No, I know them. I know
They're
them.
beautiful
They're me.
boys. I love those boys.
They're me, my worst enemy. They'll never ask me to,
so
like.
You're the Spider-Man meme. Is the 3 Spider-Man that are pointing
I'll never be able to give them their dreams
because they have no dreams.
Yes, yeah.
God damn, that makes sense.
Like, it's not a glass half full, glass half empty. There's no glass.
It's just the liquid is everywhere.
Seriously, like, if Max ever wanted to be a magician, I could, like, some way.
Dude, we know like 5 world class. Costa Kimlot we know world champion. We know more famous magicians than I think anybody we know. Like, I'm talking guys that Penn and Teller know.
Yeah.
We've interviewed Penn and Teller twice. I'm sure we can get him back on the line. Piff the Magic Dragon's a good friend of ours.
If I was like, hey, my son wants to go out to Vegas and be your intern just for free, just to learn the ropes, like, would you, like, you know, a couple days a week? Just so, I mean, he probably would. You know, like,
he's a very nice man.
I could get anybody's foot in the door to whatever. It's up to them after that.
Your foot door, Tom?
Yeah, but my
Saltwater
son's
time.
It'll all be ruined because I'm not interested enough to do it with anybody else. Only my sons, and my sons will never ask me.
Oh, so it's so this is what is it? This
like,
is a snake not eating its own tail.
No
this
glass.
is a snake that doesn't know it has a tail.
Not half empty, not half full. There's
Nobody will ever rub the lamp. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm stuck in the desert in the fucking lion's mouth, and no one will find me. I have the ability.
You are so weird.
No, I have the ability to grant wishes, and
will you take wishes? Okay, so
now I won't take wishes from anybody else. Only my sons, because it's too much work, and there's a lot of favors to ask.
Do you think it's because of just solely personality that they got that from you, or do you think it's environment driven?
No, he has said before that it's from both of you. No, you've said before that both you and Crystal, when you were adolescents, both lacked dreams, right?
Yeah, we didn't have any dreams.
I'm not being an asshole. He has told me this. That's said,
no
that's
dreams.
said with love. I love them. They're family to me. But you have said both of you didn't know what you wanted to do. No dreams.
We just
no
ended up where we are.
Right.
But that didn't dictate your mood, though. As a kid, were you happy or sad because of the anti-dream?
No. I didn't even know. They forced me to declare a business major or whatever. And I remember the last day, and they were like, "You have to, or we're gonna boot you out of college or whatever." So I remember going there, and then
they make you declare.
And then I looked at the paper, and I was like, "What do I want to do?" And then like, "Oh, business."
That's Tommy. That's your son.
You just went with business?
I couldn't even spell it.
It's a good thing because you do business.
I put BUS dot because I couldn't.
I want to drive a bus.
You wrote bus.
Because I was like, business a B. That's how stupid I am. And then
one day this bus driver's gonna make every kid's dream come true.
And then I listened to Daniel. I was like, this guy's funny. And I called up and I was like, I want to be an intern.
I want to be your intern. I can. I
didn't even really want to be in radio. Then when I got in, I was like, not that good.
There's a balance to it all, though, that you can dream too much. How many times have you seen a kid dream too hard? Because I've seen that.
You used to do that. This is sailboat dream. I was thinking about that this morning. He and his wife used to think they were going to live on a sailboat.
Yeah.
Live with their dog.
That's a dream.
My only dreams are impossible. The rest are like any sort of decent, regular dream.
Well, it would be, but you don't want those. No interest in
I want the impossible ones.
You should have dreams that are impossible. You don't want your dream to be like, I want a moderate 401k.
Yeah,
no.
Like shoot for the stars.
But I mean, actually impossible. But it's not even. It'll never happen. 100%.
Everything you gravitate is impossible.
That says something.
You give your sons impossible tasks.
Yeah,
but they will never do them.
You only value the impossible dreams. What is your obsession with the impossible?
Well, I think it's funny because it's funny that it'll never happen. Right? Like, it's funny that a dream will never happen.
You won't even let one listener's child write in, and we'll make one. See if you can make it happen. I think you should.
Some of them are. I mean, it's a lot. It's a huge. I'll never ask Piff.
This is what I'll say.
Except for my sons.
Let me say this for Ross because he's here as a newer, person that comes in and does the Friday Free Show. The reason I'm saying this is because there are some people, and again, this is not from me, this is from the chat room and YouTube and Twitch.
Allegedly.
They feel like you should be tested because it's anybody can come on a podcast and say, I can make any child's dream come true. Castleberry Willy Wonka. They want to
get their foot in the door.
Like any good village, if an alien landed, you would want a demonstration of power.
It's time to walk that dog. It's time to grant a wish.
Yeah.
Just have the chat room tell me a dream, and then I'll explain explain how I would.
Okay, that's fair.
Get their foot in the door.
First dream in there that's a legitimate dream. I will give that to Tom, and we'll real time.
Because I think I've made enough contacts in Central Florida, and I've had to save them in my phone. Hundreds and hundreds of
His
people.
phone is pretty.
It's a good phone.
The Orlando Historical Society, the Orlando History Center, should put your contacts in. He has some really, really odd, weird ones in there. Like any business you need like weird business.
You got Carrot Top?
Oh, I got Carrot Top.
You got Carrot Top?
Yeah, I got Carrot Top.
Yeah,
I don't got Carrot Top.
There's certain. I don't have his number, but I could probably
Get to it though.
But if you wanted to work, see, it's something adjacent. It's not you. There's no guarantee, but I could get you a foot in the door in the industry by asking a favor to someone that I know or have some sort of contact with. I'm pretty.
Let me give you
sure.
an easy one then. Maisie Ballet, Orlando. Orlando Ballet.
Okay, well we know the opera lady.
She moved away. She's in D.C.
This Willy
But
Wonka
I can find her on
sucks.
Facebook and be like, who else you know in the
He's
arts?
not wrong. You could reach out to Nicole Dupre. Nicole Dupre from D.C. would give you the number to some people in Orlando Ballet.
I mean, I know Dr. Phillips Center. I know every venue. Someone that
Wait a
knows
minute,
someone.
I have this power too.
Yeah,
Not as much. Not even close to you, but I do have a.
I can't stop thinking about this Willy Wonka movie. It's like, what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to go down the hall, take a left.
Oh my
You're going to
God.
see some
This
guy.
is the perfect vehicle because for me, they're kind of reframing the look of the Oompa Loompa. He's a little more powerful in this version. And that's me.
Yeah.
I'm the Oompa Loompa. I'm not just like some, do boy. I actually get some lines. I'm like Robin.
My favorite part is when I scream at you at the end, you blew it. Then we blast off in a secret elevator.
Yeah, people are going to, that this is just going to make all of our listeners send their children's dreams to you.
I just say, but I'm not willing to grant anybody but my son's dreams, you see?
Yeah,
and then they don't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
no
my
one's
curse.
close.
They just
no one's even
respond.
close. Max, come on. Max has got to be close.
He may want,
And Tommy still, I got a nothing. Oh, wait. Can I ask you a question, an update on Tommy and didn't he win before Christmas? What did he got something?
That sounds like a dream.
Didn't he win something and he was supposed to, he could buy anything at Target?
If it's not a scratch off, dream
Yeah,
completed.
sorry. I forgot about
Here's
it.
the thing. Yeah, still haven't done anything. Forgot.
He won a bet with his dad. I want to give Ross some proof that his kids have no dreams.
Okay, for the when they started cross country, I told them, and this years ago, that if they finish top 15, because the top 15 people they do like 8 different schools, so it's the ending age, by age or whatever.
Do you
So
ever
it's a
run?
lot.
What?
Did you ever run, or were you strictly golf?
I started running recently, but not when I was a kid, no.
God, as a kid, I bet with your body geometry, you'd rip.
We can flirt later.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying. I'm not made for running, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you a story on the BDM show. My doctor said I can't run long distances ever again, which I'm not listening to.
Yeah.
Also, I was just like, what are you saying?
What do you know, doctor?
Another doctor told me the exact opposite. Then I was like, this is all fucking shim sham. This is your opinion.
I'm Castleberry Wonka,
Well, fuck your
sir.
opinion. I believe the
You get
opinion.
nothing. Good day, sir.
That's a very Wonka, man.
I love yelling good day, sir. What were we talking about?
You were gonna tell we were telling Ross
The bat.
the example of how your son really and truly has no dreams because he won this amazing bet.
So I told them that if any of them got top 15, that they can go to Target and buy whatever they want, unlimited. If they one purchase, one item, anything.
Cool
if
deal.
they sell it at Target, you can pick it out, and I will buy it from you.
That gives me a boner a little bit.
Yeah,
As a 48-year-old man, if my wife said that, I'd be like, what?
I'm only
PlayStation-
excited because I used to be a kid.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a dream, right?
And a little bit of it was because I thought there was no chance because there's a lot of schools involved in this, fast kids.
Yeah, there's no way.
They're
not that good.
Yeah, they never even got close.
Yeah.
But that last race of the year.
Oh, here comes Shadir.
Yeah. They held it at a day. I think a lot of the fast kids were playing other sports.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And I saw the group of 10-year-olds was smaller
it's
than
like
normal.
when they have an international meeting and all the best players are out playing Champions League.
Yeah. And then it's like-
Ronaldo's over in Spain.
Yeah. I started sweating a little bit, and then so Tommy finished, finished like 11th. He fucking got the ribbon. They give a little medal, and and at the time they're like, oh yeah, and Max was screaming anything from Target. He was happy,
anything from Target,
and then he forgot. They still hasn't remembered.
Yeah.
We went home.
For those of you that are not kids, let me say that again.
Still haven't remembered.
He could get anything he wants at Target, a lot of money, and he has forgotten that he won this amazing Better Than Christmas, and he forgot about it.
I'm the genie giving him the one wish.
Yeah, you're in the desert, no one's rubbing you.
And that's how by the way, that's how I know that they won't come to me in the future like, Dad, can you use one of your hookups to get my foot in the door in this business and make my dreams come true? They'll never ask me.
Is there
they forgot you could do it?
But there's got to be a legit chance where he's like, he thinks you forgot.
Well, no, why? You would bring it up, right? Like, hey, remember
my
that?
wife's in the chat room. Don't you dare. My wife said, I need someone to remind Tommy on the side. No. Don't you dare. I will divorce you if you do that.
Yeah. I will body slam you if you tell my son, remind him, because he's going to fucking buy a PlayStation 4 or whatever.
The greatest thing that could ever happen in our show's history is my wife tells Tommy, and you body slam my wife. I would be jacking off so hard. I'd be like, this is the greatest day. This is the greatest show we've ever done.
That's a great free Friday.
Yeah, man.
So, Ross, you went to do the new theme park.
Epic Universe.
I have been to Epic Universe. I have been there 3 times.
What? You went 3 times?
I've been 3 times.
The
reason why is because I have a ID over there. I work over there, and then they have to do like dress rehearsals for it. To get the park up on its feet, finding out.
So they use employees and media and stuff. And
yeah. So in the beginning, it was just employees, and then it was employees and family, and then now media's up, and now everybody can talk about it, and everybody can post photos of the best theme park that Orlando has now.
I think it's better than every other theme park.
I think it's better than every other theme park.
Yeah,
I don't even know how really close it is.
I mean, it makes sense because everything's new. And there's no other theme park. Like, they're still rolling old-ass rides in some of these theme parks.
No offense, and I like Disney. We gotta play Hall of Presidents. You gotta burn that shit down. You gotta burn that shit down. Right? We don't care about any presidents. None of them. I don't care about none of them. All of it. Ben Franklin in that balloon. He goes, I just burn it all down.
I mean, no one's interested, right?
And there's some of the lore of some of the old rides is because that they are old, and I did this.
People just say that. There's fat people go out there and sweat around in circles, and then they ride some old shit.
Yeah, so teacups. That shit is at the fair.
Burn it down. You gotta burn it all down.
But yeah, new theme park, first theme park in 25 years, something like that. 99 Islands of Adventure was the last Universal theme park. I think Animal Kingdom was the latest Disney park. So
That's old as hell.
Yeah, and you're grabbing decades of new information, data to go. What do people like? Let's make it. I mean, don't quote me on it exactly, but I've heard that this park is upward to $7-8 billion of an expansion when it comes to making roads, and to have that amount of money go towards whatever the amount of money is, it's pricey and it's for human entertainment and enjoyment. What a special time to be living in Orlando, man. That theme park, I didn't know. I guess I forgot how much I like a good theme park day.
Yeah.
I forgot, man. It has recalibrated my love and affection to going to theme parks for fun.
What's your favorite ride?
Gotta be Stardust Racers. The big creme de la creme roller coaster that they have in the new park is something else. It is. I have never laughed, giggled, that I felt like a little child. It made I don't want to just be like, oh my god, it's
agreeing. They say Stardust is insane.
Stardust,
is it just standard roller coaster?
It's got the coolest Easter egg of any roller coaster ever. There's a flux capacitor on the back of every ride vehicle over on Stardust. Cool. So you have a little homage to Doc Brown and Back to the Future.
That's neat.
And the park is littered with those things, and you fall in love with them every single time. It is a special area, and it's here in Orlando, and it's about to open up. I can't wait for everybody to experience this thing. It's remarkable.
Now, I'm one of the weirdos that I love a good show. I'm a show guy.
Yeah.
And...
it's got you covered.
And seriously, whether I'm on a cruise ship whether I'm in New York, whatever. I like a good show. They got shows?
The How to Train Your Dragon show, I'm not even that big into that franchise. I saw the first movie. It's a trilogy. That show is breathtaking.
I've heard that as well.
Like, it
was a loaded question. I knew the answer to that before I even asked it.
It's so good that I can spoil that show.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it, but only good things can get spoiled.
That's dope.
Is it better than the best show of all theme park history, the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular?
I don't think that's the best one. The best one was they did an erotic silk show, like an adults-only Universal show.
What?
That I went to where it was like naked women climbing silks.
What
Were you
year
working
was
there at the time? I will look it up, but I remember this is back
No,
when
they weren't naked, though.
They were bodysuit naked, they were like naked. It was like topless. It was like being a Cirque du Soleil. It was nuts.
Where was it? Universal Studios?
Yeah,
it
was in that pavilion, the place where they do they used to do Bill and Ted.
Yeah,
and they did a crazy erotic. Silk
was it
show.
Short-lived because it was so erotic?
It was only for Hollywood. It wasn't like Insurgent or anything, but it was like way spicier than they should have been doing. Yeah, I'll have to look it up.
The atmosphere. Look, you have 5 new lands. I don't even want to call them lands. They're worlds. And you can drink around the galaxy. You can drink around the galaxy over in the new park. Drink around the universe, I should say.
Yeah, the booze aspect.
I've gotten
Universal.
drunk every time I've gone, and it's been some of the best times I've ever been drunk.
Yeah, I'm not a huge theme park fan.
It's time.
But I am excited to take my sons to this theme park just because when Crystal told me about like the new Star Wars ride and like how it was really unbelievable compared to the older rides, and she's like, man, the new technology does make a difference.
And that's an old ride compared to this.
No, I know. So I'm like, oh, well, I want to see like all new rides because that's an experience I've never had.
So have you been on Rise of the Resistance?
No, but that's what Crystal told me about. Yeah, that was awesome.
That ride is the first thing that I went on and I got off, and I lied. That's really what made me go like, damn, dude, I forgot what theme parks can bring as an experience.
Yeah.
That ride is insanely. It's the best. It's so good. It's so insane how they.
But is it better than Carousel of Progress?
Yeah. But like the theme park technology that goes into that ride is truly sci-fi. And, and we're talking about magic and we just find out the trick on YouTube. To be in a cart and experiencing, theme park magic, some real sci-fi technology, it hits. It's still so much fun. I forgot. All the theme park fans, I understand you way more. I've been working at one since 2008, but I've only understood that side. I forgot what it's like to be an audience member towards this theme parks, and this new theme park is just. It is so stupid awesome.
I was kind of hoping I would get to go now while the employees are going, so I wouldn't get on a ride and then have it interrupted by some handicapped person trying to get on.
Great news.
I'm joking. That's a joke.
If you bought a ticket to Epic Universe and you didn't ride a ride, you got your money's worth. That's how beautiful the park is. Walking through the portals is breathtaking. Every time you go through a portal, it's the closest you will ever feel to being teleported. And to the point where I had to look back.
You're selling it to Wonka over here.
Yeah.
He's in.
Every time I walked through a portal, Tom, I walked and maybe 15 feet, and I had to look back to see, like, how far have we gone? Because it's almost exhausting being surrounded by that much visual. They nailed it. It's so good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. From EJ told us how awesome it was. Like everything online, people are freaking out.
They're
how
just
good
loving
it is.
it. Yeah,
the Dark Universe is the coolest part for me. It's my favorite. I can't believe that corporate entertainment worlds, theme park, the big people making these things, that they signed up and dropped that amount of money for horror.
Right.
365 days a week, celebrating the history of Universal's monster background, and it is just so awesome. If you're into like dragons and gothic, and you've seen like a drunk paladin and like a priest who is having gay thoughts, like like the really dark gothic Black Plague France, that's like what Dark Universe feels to me, and I just can't believe it exists.
That's cool.
It is breathtaking.
Yeah, their scenery is, like, to me, unmatched, too. Like, after I saw what they did years ago with Harry Potter, I was like, this is different.
I mean, how long
this is wild.
is it going to be packed for? I mean, with this much hype, it's going to be insane.
And people are bigger than ever. Like, so.
I mean, this thing is going to be...
I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just saying we really are.
2-hour waits on every ride, right? For probably 2 years or something. You know? It's going to be crazy.
That's why you got to get the hookup. You got to get somebody to make your dream come true. No, you got
to find your Wonka.
I
can find him in my phone,
but like
and right in front of me.
Well, wait a minute. If you make your own dream come true, I think you turn it to dust.
I was there yesterday, and I love, because I'm a Universal boy at the end of the day, and I like Disney, and they have phenomenal stuff. But I'm always rooting for my team in the theme park world, and I love whenever there are objective examples of what Universal does that Disney can't do, whether it be the horror makeup show or these roller coasters that I don't think Disney even comes close to the intensity of anything like the Hulk does, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for. When you go to Dark Universe, there's a well right there in the center, and it's kind of spooky, and it's got spikes on it. And I was talking to my friend, I go, what's up with the well? What's the story behind the well? And they go, that's where they pour blood for the vampires below. And it just made me go like, oh, that's something that only this place can do.
Yeah, Disney's not going to do anything that dark.
And it's so awesome.
And it's not even like adult. It's just the imagery is just not something they would ever even walk down that path.
When you walk into Dark Universe, there are 2 corpses strapped to a lamppost above you, to your right.
Oh, interesting. That's in my bedroom.
Yeah. And it part of the theming, then everywhere you look, you're transported. I'm so excited that they did this.
I can't wait to take my sons.
I'm in.
So real quick,
I want to drive a Mario Kart. I want to dress like Toad and then have people think I'm Toad.
Dude, I was so drunk on Mario Kart, and I felt so safe because I was like, I can't. This is no DUI here. This is sick.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. So
100%.
it was really comfortable.
I got a question for you guys. So on Facebook, I saw Tony Palmiotti, our cruise guy we've worked with for over a decade.
He and Deb are
helping the show, Ahoy Cruises. So I saw him with Dan Marino. And then I swiped, and then there's Mark Duper. And I'm like, what the hell?
Old Mark Duper.
Those are my childhood sports heroes.
The real Dolphins, man.
Marino and Duper?
Yeah.
And
I listened to that show.
And I'm like, what the hell is Tony with Marino and Duper? and then I text him. I'm like, oh, where the hell were you at with Dan Marino? And he was at the christening of the MSC World America cruise ship, right? Down in Miami.
All right, big deal. Big invite.
They're debuting a new cruise ship called World America, MSC, and they only invited like the top cruise salespeople and like the people in the cruise industry, whatever. So Tony goes, and then they invite a bunch of celebrities, right? So Dan Marino's there, Mark Duper, Gloria Stefan's performing, Orlando Bloom's there, and then
Orlando Bloom. Dude, what is I'll never forget him paddleboarding in his penis.
And
Orlando Bloom.
He's hogging out, right?
Yeah,
He's got a churro down there.
He's fine.
And then he tells me that he's like, even Drew Barrymore is the cruise ship's godmother, like the World America, MSC World America godmother. And I'm like, what the hell was that? So then I look up cruise ship godmothers, right? And so, do you know what this is?
I'm assuming the website was blocked.
Do you know? She's stuck in a
I don't really know.
washing machine.
I'm asking ChatGPT, but ChatGPT...
I researched this.
I figured you did, but ChatGPT is there's a little bit of controversy. They're claiming that Drew Barrymore has done it once before.
Oh, can there only be one godmother?
I don't know. I'll do more research while you're explaining it.
So, you know the person that swings or breaks the champagne over the cruise ship, whatever? Now,
easy to grin when your ship comes in and you've got the stock market beats. But the man who's worthwhile is the man who can smile when his pants are too tight in the seats. And then she breaks it on the front of the boat, and then the whole front of the boat falls into the water. Caddyshack.
Every time.
So they are, nowadays, instead of breaking breaking the champagne bottle, they usually have some lever, and then the champagne swings into the cruise ship and breaks or whatever. So, but the person who does that is the godmother of the cruise ship.
Didn't know that.
And they hire, and tons of celebrities have done it, right? Like if you look up, there's a list of like 20 most famous cruise ship godmothers, and there's the list of like Pitbull. Like they opened it up to like Godfathers too.
I don't like that.
2025.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I'm a traditionalist.
But before it was all godmothers, like Queen
what
Elizabeth.
if you're non-binary? What are you then?
I don't know.
We have to figure that out.
I will be keeping Pitbull though as a godmother.
I want to stop the show until we figure that out.
So other celebrities have done this, a list of them, right? And it's weird too. It gets into like obscure ones and like not so much A-list, but a lot of musicians.
Reba McEntire
did it.
She's
right?
the godmother of the Norwegian Viva,
which is an A-list country celebrity.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Yeah, she's heralded in country.
She's ripping.
Not so many movie stars. Anyway, so I'm looking at this like weird. So then I start thinking.
Whoopi Goldberg.
So I was like, I wonder what they get paid. Right? So because the MSC, they got money. They're $1 billion shipping corporation that started a cruise line.
Yeah, they just started this line.
Yeah, but it literally billion and gigantic $100 billion corporation.
So what's the gig to, how much does it pay to break champagne on the ship?
Or
to swing it.
But it's to offer your likeness, right? You are becoming a ambassador.
So you're inviting Drew Barrymore. Like, this is a big event of when the christening of this giant cruise ship is a big event. So I was like, well, you have to pay Drew Barrymore to come out and do this, right? And now, who knows behind the scenes what the truth is, but the internet told me they do not get paid
That's
to
what
come out there.
ChatGPT just said.
Yeah.
ChatGPT said they get a free cruise. And
Yes.
I'd be like, well, fuck that shit.
And they say
'Cause I've been on cruises.
You get a title.
No offense, but
also you're a millionaire. Like, are you Drew Barrymore like taking her day to go out and be a cruise ship godmother for MSC for a free cruise, right? Like, but apparently, based on the internet and AI, that's the same thing that I saw in my research. Like, they do this for basically a free cruise and to say they're the godmother. Like, this is it's honor.
If you're a ship, who do you want? If you're a ship, who do you want doing the champagne?
Oh,
Well, Drew Barrymore's a big...
I want Ye doing that. Because it's going to get the most
Kanye
attention.
West
Look, I'm just speaking.
dressed in a black Klansman outfit.
I'm not saying, look, I'm not a fan. I used to be. I love his music.
He banged one of the Olsen
He
twins.
did. He banged one of the Olsen twins.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's what he claims. That's what he claims. He also claims
I
that
don't
his
think that's
wealth makes his dick 4 inches bigger, and I'm like, I wish mine did.
So
That gives him 15
I
inches.
think
He
the
claims.
wealth is makes it a little cold.
But Kanye, I would want Kanye because imagine and the whole ship is black, by the way. My whole ship is jet.
It's a sailboat
It's
too,
matte
so
black.
it's got
It's a sailboat.
It's a black
You're an
sailboat.
idea man. I'm cutting you in. That's 20% right there
There
for
it
you
is, dude.
because you're an idea man.
So do you think they actually do it for free or for a free cruise? It's hard for me to believe
the
that.
only other thing that
is
ChatGPT adds is that they
Pitbull-
roll it into commercials.
Oh.
Like so for Oprah Winfrey, that's the only one that I can find that's
She's a
quotable.
billionaire.
Is Oprah? No, for hers it was like they rolled in her getting free cruises and stuff, but it was really just rolled into her like okay, so
promoting some of our brand. Or
for
some
instance,
shit.
like you'll do commercials for us, but then you will be the godmother of this boat, and it rolled into the ad campaign.
So she's just doing it for some sort of ad trade.
It's no different than Burt Kreischer and Tom Segura going to ABC for Porosos. It's part of the deal. They're doing commercials, they're talking about it, but occasionally you're going to have to step out there and shake some hands.
So on the ship, but what's it, Drew Barrymore? Maybe she owns some sort of company, and then they're going to like, hey, we'll put the product in
She
our
did
jewelry
commercials.
store. Oh, okay.
Apparently Drew's doing commercials for MSC.
I say, you said Whoopi. If I was a ship, I wouldn't mind Whoopi just straight breaking a bottle of champagne on me.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg is one of them. Then there's a lot of weird ones.
Well, one of the coolest ones is Diana, Prince of Wales.
I see right there, Serena Williams. That's going to hurt. That's gonna hurt.
She's strong.
So, and then the only other thing that I thought about with this whole thing is like, you meet Dan Marino, right? So my dream.
You know, he looks like a dickhead even now. When you look at him,
Oh,
you're like, you're a dickhead, aren't you?
Tony said he was the nicest guy to him. But,
Tony also said he stood there for hours.
yeah.
And I would be a
must have paid
dickhead
him.
after I stood there for hours, but apparently he was like so nice.
So one of my dreams has always been that I meet some sort of quarterback. I'm guessing he's retired, even still playing in the NFL.
You had this dream, by the way. If you can harness your memories.
And I thought that it was close to happening like back in the Predators days, because every once in a while, like a Tim Tebow would show up.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And then we said he threw me a pass on the field, but it wasn't him.
Yeah. Oh, man, have you ever said that?
I don't know.
I don't think you've ever said that.
Yeah.
I was not going to say that. I'm being better about. I usually yell people's names.
He was there, but
I dox people on the show all the time.
No.
I just yell people's names, and Tom's like, "Stop doing that."
No, I'll tell you all.
And I was gonna say, I wasn't gonna say that the Tim Tebow thing was fake, but yeah, he never threw that pass.
But it was someone else. It was one of Bushy's goons from the. It was a goon.
It was a goon.
But but my dream has always been that I'd meet one of these retired NFL players, and somehow like there would be a ball around, and he'd fucking throw me a pass.
Just toss some pigskin with a big dog.
Not even, just one pass, because every once in a while.
Are you going to run a route?
Well, either that or
what are you running?
Yeah,
draw your. Are you going to run a Shadir route? His is terrible.
Are you going fly or flat?
Yeah, like an easy button hook. Just run, like 15-yard out. Anyways, but and I thought like that. How awesome would it be for some like fucking even I don't care. It could be like
chat room's asking if this counts as a dream. I think it does.
Well, it never happened.
Show me dream.
100% a dream. I was thinking that.
Yeah, but my dreams can never. It will never happen.
Yeah, our guest says it's a dream. I trust.
But every once in a while, like Tom Brady will throw a football in fucking Mardi Gras to some drunk
and you want to be that guy,
or he'll be on a yacht.
So let's try to make this happen. Let's use your phone technique and make this happen.
Can never happen.
Let's Wonka the Wonka, dude. Wonka the Wonka.
You gotta Wonka yourself. You gotta Wonka until there's Wonka all over the walls.
It can never happen. But I did. Let me ask you this:
Wonk these walls.
In any other sports scenario, is there anything close to the quarterback throwing you a pass? Because I thought of any other.
Okay, I thought I had one, but I disqualified myself. You want to hear mine? I disqualified myself. I was going to go, when players swap jerseys, not the same.
But that
it's not the same.
You can't. I'm saying
that's athlete and athlete right
correct.
there. Yeah.
Correct.
I'm talking for Joe Schmo. You meet an athlete, a famous
hockey guys don't do it. I mean, they never toss a puck to somebody. I don't think.
Tossing but throwing a pass is close to the actual like
baseball.
Dan Marino throwing you a pass is like you'd have to have like I guess if you had a glove and you met Nolan Ryan, but you couldn't ask him like throw me a fastball like he'd blow your teeth out.
Oh yeah. Literally break your face.
He wouldn't do it just because like hey, it's too dangerous. Like maybe a small toss, but like I feel like Marino could lightly throw me a catchable ball.
Chat room is saying, Ghost of a New Bull says, how about doing the D-Generation X crotch chop with Triple H and Shawn Michaels?
Like, if you both did it at the same time,
if all three of you did it at the same time on video, I think that counts. It's a little redneck here. I know.
I'm saying anything close to a legitimate sport. I don't know if there's anything that that mimics that.
I felt like this episode, this podcast needed even more white guy stereotypes. Golf has a couple of these in there. So a big thing, they're athletes on the practice range. They'll let a kid go underneath, hit a couple golf balls with the kid or with the famous golfer.
Okay, but although
that's cool if you get to hit with him.
I got to do that with the big dog Golden Bear himself.
No, really?
Yeah, I did it with Nicholas because my dad knew him.
And you got to just hit balls next to him.
Nicholas?
Yeah, at Twin Eagles.
I still
in Naples,
have the only
Florida.
golf club I ever kept from when I played was a Golden Bear sand wedge that I love. It's just a fun.
Did he give you a tip or anything?
Dude, because
without the tip, it's kind of just playing golf next to a famous person.
And a lot of people don't know this. If maybe you do, maybe you don't. Ross, you're a very good golfer.
I love golf.
Yeah, he's a golf man.
But golf also drives me mad. That's how you know I'm.
Are you better than Jimmy?
No, I think Jim's got me by a hair. I think we've played 5 times. I think I've gotten him twice, and he's got me 3.
Would you play as our champion, and then we'll bully Jim?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Just like Game of Thrones.
I think.
Give it a couple of years.
But Jim and
he's
I.
Getting up there.
Yeah, but Jim is very good at golf. He can. He hits it a mile. He hits it further than I do.
There's a lot of anger and racism.
There's just so much hate in the heart.
Yeah. You should see how far Kanye drives the golf ball. It's hard. If you go Jews, he's
always down.
What was that experience like?
So this was weird. The reason why he put me underneath the ropes, and this is a golf ism too. Like practice rounds, the athletes can have a kid hit a golf shot for him, like on the putting green and stuff. But the reason why it all happened was because he was signing autographs. I walked up to him, and I knew he knew my dad. That my dad and him had played a couple of times in Hilton Head, South Carolina, but my dad had just passed. So I walk up to Jack Nicklaus, and the first thing I say is, do you remember Roger Padgett? And he goes, yeah, how's Roger doing? And as a kid, I go, he's dead.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because kids are blunt. Yeah, we just blurted
so
out.
I just straight dropped that. He's dead. He was my dad. And then he looked up. I remember this. He was signing a golf glove at that moment. And then he pulled me. He goes, come over here with me. Is that your mom? You grab your mom. We go underneath the ropes, and then we just go over to the practice range. And he was talking to my mom, and then he let me hit some of the golf balls on the practice range.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's awesome.
That gave me chills. That's wild because if you don't know golf, that's the guy.
That's the king, dude.
Because also it's not just golf. It's the way that he treated people, other humans, staff, people that worked with him, people that worked for him, charitable aspects.
The coolest thing that I have in my house is a signed painting. It's a print of a painting, because my father was the first head pro for a very prestigious golf course in Hilton Head. Harbortown. He was the first head pro of Harbortown. And he was also the first recipient of an Arnold Palmer scholarship for Wake Forest. So he got a full ride for Wake Forest for golf. But him and Arnold Palmer, because of that connection, they started hanging out, and I have a signed painting from Arnold to Roger.
So you got both? You got both the big dogs.
He finished, I think like the highest finish he ever had was like 8th, or he had a top 10, and then he blew it on a bunch of downers. So that was, we took a lot of zigs and zags there, but that's the coolest.
That's a beautiful story.
That's like the coolest golf or probably best athlete interaction I had. And I was really good friends with the Nuggets head coach, and we got hooked up there for a little bit.
The only one I have that's anywhere close to that, I've said it, I'll say it quickly, is when Jeff Turner, my dad knew Jeff Turner from the Magic, and he got us those courtside seats, and we got to go down on the court, and I got to shoot like on the hoop.
No, really?
And he met us down there, and he talked to us, and you can still hear Jeff calling the games now. And like when I watch the games now and see Jeff Turner, it's wild. Like that is a memory. That's why I don't want you to give yourself so much shit about these adventures you take your boys on. They will. I think they will remember them,
dude.
Because I remember that moment. I'm just going to get sad. I remember standing on the old Magic court, that parquet floor that everybody knows the way it looks, and with Jeff Turner, and like it was wild, man. So that's a memory I'll cherish forever.
I've come to grips with this as a new dad, my new dad pants on. Like all the hard work, all the fun stuff, like all of those adventures, I don't think you're gonna get the reward for those, the fruits of those labors until they can themselves appreciate it as an adult and go, man. I remember when I was 8 and Dad would always take these out. I don't think that thought happens at 15. I don't even think that thought happens really at 20. Probably around like 25, 30.
It happens after I die.
Exactly.
That's meaningless.
That's not what he wants.
I want it now.
Anybody that's been following the show knows Tom has a credit problem. And I'm not talking credit cards. He wants credit.
And you just showed me the only way I'm going to make my son's dreams come true is I have to die.
You've settled it, Ross.
And the only way that anybody's going to give my son's favors that they're like, oh, I feel bad as dad.
But you guys are in you got definitely a lot of years of parenthood on me. Is that a good like I'm thinking like, wow, if I'm looking for a thank you for the next 15 years for my son, that's not.
No, it's never coming.
Yeah, it's never coming. But once they get a little bit older and they understand, they go out independence and. Right, I know I had that moment. That's the only reason why I think it exists.
That's a great story, dude.
That I had that moment with my mom that when I finally got older and then I was able to appreciate all the golf tournaments that she took me to. That's her time. That's her dollar. Like, I think once you get a job and once life beats you down, then you can fully say thank you to your parents.
I just thought of one that is the all-time best experience for a kid, and that it can't be matched by any other celebrity.
Okay.
And it's the old, hey, you there, you know how to play guitar? Come up and play
the
this
Green
next song.
Day. That's the Green Day. That's called the Green Day.
That
Yeah, it's
is
the best.
That's because no other experience. You can catch a pass from Dan Marino. He's drunk. He's fucking.
Yeah, but we
grabbing
never
some
see
girl's
the
ass.
bad ones.
Yeah, but
we never. I want to see the ones like, hey, do you know how to play guitar? Come on up here. Yay! And then the kid fucking sucks.
Well,
It's just Guitar Hero.
and then I want everyone to be like, fuck, boo! Fuck you!
to take the magic away, all it's pre-planned. That kid. Like the manager chose that kid weeks ago. He won some contest. Like he had a video prove that he could play every song. It's not just random.
But it is a good one.
Yeah,
it is a good one.
But for that kid to play in the fucking Foo Fighters, like lots of bands have done it, and for you to play one song with fucking Dave Grohl, like that's pretty amazing.
My
Like,
dream,
nothing
though, is
beats
to
that
be
shit.
standing there with my arms crossed going, this is fake! This is fucking fake!
Yeah, they contacted me 3 weeks ago. I signed a waiver.
He's not really sick.
Turn your back to it like that fat guy, just give the thumbs down. Like that meme.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Ross,
Weekend time.
Good Sauce with Ross
It's
and Joel. Download the podcast. If you want to advertise.
Yeah, be a part of it. Support it with your money. Support it. Maybe you have a company. Maybe you have a business that would be a great fit.
Mortgage guy Don got on
Yep.
board, not with just our beautiful, awesome podcast, Good Sauce with Ross and Joel, but he's also sponsoring our Fringe show. Same thing with Mo
killer.
DeWitt. Mo DeWitt is sponsoring our Fringe show.
Awesome.
So locals support locals. That's the best thing that I think we can do, and I'll do my part and do my best to support other locals.
There you go.
By tipping more than $5.
Yeah. We do the percentages here. And my wife told me it's 25% now, but that's a whole different conversation.
Next month.
Most of them aren't even from here. How local aren't they?
Kissimmee counts, Tom. Kissimmee counts.
My God, Wonka has an evil tone. He's an evil Wonka. Is there anything else?
We did it, Oompa Loompa slaves. Are they
Who do you
free to
think
leave?
built the goddamn pyramids?
I think they were there. They wanted to be there.
That's what they tell themselves.
Mo DeWitt, we're going to be out there. Just call Mo Bowling Tournament.
Yeah.
I will be there as well tomorrow.
Yep. I think it's all. You can't just show up. All the tickets are. Maybe you could contact Mo or
no, you can't.
But I think it's all.
Nothing can be done. We're going to have a lot of fun without you. I shouldn't have even mentioned it. I'm going to cut this out.
We'll see the people that did agree to buy the tickets tomorrow.
Those of you that didn't agree, you waited too long.
And head out to our BDM appreciation event on April 19th.
We have an erotic magic and whip show.
Silver Linings Band. We got DJ Sharp.
Yep.
And lots of other people, except for Vince, because he already came
Apparently,
yesterday.
Tracy is talking to. He's very mad. She just texted that she just talked to. Oh, she goes, "Oh my God, Vince Taylor just messaged me back about Command Alive." You really did it this time, buddy.
All right. So thank you, Ross, and thanks to all
mutual.
the BDMs and sponsors that support the show.
Yes,
And
sir.
We'll see you on Monday.
Hold it, fellas. Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.
This is all jokes and funny to you, huh? You can take it up with legal. Have a good day.